A freebie today, haven't we?
We have indeed.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
With every single order that you place today from the TV show, you will get your Blooming Fast, and this is worth £4.99. And Adam, this is an outstanding plant food, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's brilliant, Shaun, because sometimes you just get what's called NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium as the main feeds. But this has also got all the trace elements as well, things like molybdenum and boron. And so it's a bit like, when you take multivitamins, you're getting this is like multivitamins for your plants. You're not just getting the kind of the staples. You're getting everything the plant needs. So that will stop plants going yellow, for example, and getting things like chlorosis. It will just keep the plants healthy from root to tip. It will keep them flowering. It will produce fantastic fruit. It will produce fantastic vegetables. And because it's a liquid feed as well, it gets to work straight away.
And this one packet will make approximately 20 watering cans of plant food. It's 100 litres that will make, which is incredible. So you'll get one of those free with every order. However, you might be thinking there's always a but. It's a good but. All you need to do is put your code in, the offer code YGTV9 in your basket. You need to do that because that will give you your free gift. And also, if there are any other promotions active, it will trigger those off. We call it the magic key. It will unlock any extra promotions that are there. So you need to put that in your basket and you'll get that free gift and everything else. But also, something that I highly recommend, and I joined a couple of weeks ago, we have got a YouGarden discount club. And this is brilliant. Now, how does it work? It saves you money, and it saves you a lot of money. So, two options, and it will on the website it will tell you everything you need to know. But all you need to do, there you go, there's a banner at the top, 10% off all plants, plus £20 when you join. Sounds really good. Two options. Now, the autumn renewal has been the most popular. It's only £5 a year, normally £20. You automatically get renewed, but you can cancel at any time. So it makes sense to go for that one, or you can go for the £10 a year as well. The benefits, the main benefits, are 10% off every plant and accessory. That includes compost. So in your compost today, you'd save £2.50 straight away. So 10% off every plant and every accessory. If you're buying things like lawnmowers and garden equipment, we work on very low margins on those, but we can still give you 5% off. You'll get £20 worth of YouGarden vouchers. Now, I see this as cash really, because you can use one of those vouchers every 3 months for next year and it will give you £5 off your orders, and you're going to get exclusive offers, competitions and expert advice as well. So really worth joining the club. And I don't know if I can show everyone how that works a little bit later on, but we can do it now. Stu, our head of engineering, is in today.
That's how that really does work, Shaun, because I remember there was a garden centre near me a few years back, and I went there for the first time, and they said if you want to pay £5 up front, you can come in with this card, and initially I was like, I've got to pay you to come and shop in this place. And then when I realised that I was getting so much discount for that £5, wow, it was just amazing.
Well, loads you joined the club. So this shows you really how it works. So we've just put together a little basket here, and there's a reminder there, join our club today and save £9. So we've just clicked that and it does it all for us. So there you go, we've saved £9 on that order. So there we go. And it was only £5. There it is at the bottom, but it saved us £9. We are already in pocket. Now, I did mention about the special code on the TV shows. There'll always be a special code. So it says there, do you have an offer code? Yes, we do. And it is, of course, YGTV9. That's the code today. And then that will give you your free gift at the top there. And any of the promotions, it will activate those automatically. So that's a little bit of how to do it. But we're going to begin with plants, and we have got the most amazing selection. So we've got bulbs, we've got perennials, we have got the most incredible hanging baskets that are already made.
Out the box, and just instant colour with those, Shaun, as well. Instant colour, instant drama, instant impact, no waiting. Yeah,
so we've got a great show, two hours. But we're going to start, now our plant of the month has sold out, don't worry, because we've got baskets filled with it in a few months' time. But we have got a brand new plant of the week, and it's the Pansy Matrix, and you're going to get 20 garden ready plants, and they really are raring to go in your pots, your hanging baskets, your beds, your borders, and they are down to just £14.98. I love those smiley happy faces, don't you?
Do you know what, Shaun? It's kind of weird when you think back to childhood. There's certain plants you remember, isn't there? Daisies are one of them, pansies are another one of those plants, because they always look like they're smiling at you, they're always cheerful looking. And pansies sometimes get a bit of a rough deal because pansies tend to come out in the spring or the autumn when you get to buy them. People think of them sometimes as bedding plants. But actually, if you look after them, you can keep these as perennials.
Yeah,
these will come back year after year. So, these are not kind of flowering throwaway plants. Trim them back, look after them, and they're going to keep flowering for you from one year to another to another.
They tend to just say, this hottest months, they just die down a bit. As you say, if you trim them off, keep them watered, give them a feed.
And this time of year, you normally find late summer, September time, these get those lovely little green shoots coming back again. And these ones will flower for you from sort of December to June, pretty much. So, you've got January to June, so you're going to get months and months of flowers on these. Big flowers on these as well, really sturdy stems and slightly scented as well.
And I got up this morning at 6 o'clock and it was quite autumnal actually.
It was cold. It was a bit chilly this morning.
I was in my gym jams walking around the garden. I was like, hang on, so I don't have any neighbours. I live out in the country, so I get away with stuff like that. But I put on my gilet because it was that cold. So, autumn is on its way and these will really cheer you up during the winter months. Don't forget, if you are a club member, you will get a 10% discount on those as well. But they are gorgeous. They're ready to go.
But just a quick big tip for you as well regarding pansies, Shaun. If you want these to flower really well through the autumn and the winter, get them in earlier. The earlier you get them in, the more established they are, the more likely they are to keep flowering all the way through the winter.
You are so right, Adam. I've sometimes made the mistake, because me and my other half have got a pub and I'm in charge of the pub garden. And I've made the mistake sometimes of planting all the winter bedding really late, and then you're right, there's not enough light and there's not enough warmth for it to really get going.
And the compost is cold and it's wet and it's heavy, and you plant them and they just sulk. But put them in now. We've still got reasonably long days, we've still got warmth, the ground is nice and warm. So those incredible roots that you can see there, those roots are going to get right down into that compost really, really quickly. They're going to get themselves established, so they're going to be resistant to the wind, the cold, the rain. They're going to start flowering, they're going to keep flowering, and just deadhead them when they're finished flowering, and that will encourage more flowers to keep appearing. So just months and months and months of colour from these. And sometimes, after they've flowered moderately well through the winter, you get this huge flush of flowers again sort of mid to late spring as well, and you almost don't want to take them out the baskets because they still look fantastic. But remember, you can just put them somewhere else if you want to, look after them through the summer, and then they'll do the same for you the following year.
By the way, you can, if you want to interact with us, we are live right now on YouTube and Facebook, and also obviously on the YouGarden website. And very quickly, I forgot to mention at the beginning, but if you watch the garden shows that we presented for many, many years, as myself and Adam and Peter and Bex and obviously Angela, this is the nursery that provided all of those plants on our Sunday morning shows for many, many years. But now we're going direct to the nursery, so you're getting even better deals. Now, I mentioned that the plant of the month has sold out, the Pansy Cool Wave. I actually got mine. Mine arrived yesterday.
Oh,
sorry. I got in there. I've learned already. But these were supposed to be on this afternoon's show, and we saw them outside, and Adam and Stu, our head of engineering, we said we've got to get them on the morning show. And they are just honestly, these almost bring tears to my eyes. They are so beautiful.
Look at that, Shaun. Just stunning. Look at the mixture of colours as well. I mean, what I really like about these is you've got some that are a solid colour, just that solid deep purple. You've got some that are just pretty much pure white, and then you've got these magical ones that are a mixture, like bicoloured flowers on there as well.
Now, I'll just give you the details for these, because the price that you are getting on these is incredible. This is how they arrive. I'm going to talk about postage as well. Now, obviously, these are big, they're in full flower. Your P&P is $6.99. That is the postage you'll pay for your entire order, though. So if you are putting together a big order, and I advise you to do that, you could buy as much as you like, and you only pay the one postage. Whatever the heaviest, biggest item is, that's the P&P you'll pay. So if you're buying these, really take advantage. Fill your basket, get everything else, and you only pay $6.99 per order. And you're going to get 2 of these. And I'm not being funny, Adam, but I'm very tempted just to buy these and put them in front of them. I was going to do my own for the pub at the front, but I'm thinking, they're already done, aren't they?
Well, they are, and it cuts out all that kerfuffle and fuss as well, because say these are straight out the box, straight onto the hanging baskets. If you do them yourself, you've got to get the basket, you've got to get the compost, you've got to do so many things. Actually, is there a... Oh, do you know what, Shaun? they've actually got quite a sweet little fragrance as
Well,
well.
they have. Oh, good, yeah. I don't have a very good sense of smell, but they're actually really, really nice. Look at that.
Minus 25 they will go down to as well, so which is insane.
Now, the Berries and Cream is a brand new colour palette for us here at YouGarden. I think it's really elegant, it's sophisticated. Sometimes we go for bright colours in the winter, they're fine, they're great, but this, I think, has got a really beautiful look, almost like Stu, our director, was saying, almost like a winter wedding look, you know.
And I love the basket as well. I mean, it's really gorgeous. Sometimes you get these plastic baskets which kind of let the whole thing down a little bit, really. But I mean, this looks so elegant all the way around.
They're amazing.
And I like the way they're just starting to cascade or trail over the side of the basket as well.
So, Adam, tell us about the Pansy Cool Wave as a variety, because it's award-winning, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an award-winning plant, Shaun, and it's a plant that will just flower for month after month after month after month. Hundreds and hundreds of flowers as well. And it's just what I like about them is when you get a little bit of a breeze as well, and you just see all these wonderful heads of flower just sort of fluttering in the breeze. And looking at what we've got here, there is so much new growth coming from further down, so many buds on there. I mean, there's already probably 200 or 300 flowers on that plant.
Yeah, and I've just done like a rough actually count, and you're right. Yeah, there's definitely
there's more
over
to just
100.
keep coming, keep coming,
so
keep coming.
You could even get thousands over the next 9 months.
Yeah, you will. I mean, you get endless amounts of flowers on these pretty much, and you could liquid feed them as well. Remember, we've got that fantastic fertiliser.
Yes.
So if you give them a feed with that as well, that will actually help to keep the flowers going, to sustain the flowers throughout the winter time. Because even though it's winter time, they'll still appreciate a little feed because they're still growing and they're still flowering. And remember, because they're hardy down to minus 25, they are going to keep going.
Well, don't forget, with every order, you're going to get your free blooming fast. All you need to do is pop in that code, which is YGTV9. I think these are amazing. I want to say hello, by the way, if Lynn Burrows is watching. She's a new viewer. Yes, hello, Lynn. She loves, Lynn's quite, how do I put it? There's a sort of a designer gardener that she likes. Do you know the female, anyway?
Right.
Yeah, anyway, it's a brand that she loves. And I think this has got that real kind of designer look to it. Do you agree with me?
Yeah, I mean,
it's really elegant.
Yeah, this is classic. This is elegant, and it's got those colours that will just stand out so well on a winter's day. And I just like the mixture of colours. I like the way the white flowers actually highlight the purple flowers in front.
Gorgeous.
And some of them, I mean, just look at that picture there. That is just so phenomenal, because some have just got a little blush of colour there on the edge of their petals. I love the one that's just got the little purpley bits just on the very edge of the white petals, and almost like cat's whiskers coming out in the middle of the flowers there.
They're just divine. And actually, don't forget, you can actually eat pansies. Yeah. I mean, a lot of the top chefs, they decorate their plates with them, don't they? Yeah. Should we try one?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah. Well, we've not had breakfast. I know you did.
I suppose they all taste the same, no matter what the colour is.
I think we do. Yeah. Well, let's try.
Yeah. Is one going to taste like berries? One going to taste like cream?
I wish. Right. They're a very mild kind of. They remind me a bit of watercress, actually, like a peppery watercress. Do you think?
Let's go for it.
I'm going to try another colour now. This is really bad. If Peter McDermott, the boss, is watching, he'd be like, "What are you doing eating all the pansies off there?"
Yeah, it is.
They're actually really nice, aren't they?
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I've got a flavour. I know the flavour, but I can't bring it to mind. But it's pleasant. It's nice.
Anyway, you might want to leave the flowers on there. Let's be honest. But
if you're making something like a pavlova or something like that, or a fruit salad, I mean, wouldn't it be wonderful just to?
They look really pretty.
Put some of these over the top, and you could dry these as well. Pansies would be great for drying if you want to make dried flowers of these. You can pressed flowers. I meant, in a book.
Yeah, of course.
Pansies
I used to do that as a child.
Really, really well.
We better stop there because there's only 198 flowers remaining on these now. Alwyn is watching on YouTube. I wonder if Alwyn's one of my followers on Facebook. There is an Alwyn that often follows me. But anyway, Alwyn, lovely that you're watching us this morning on the live stream on YouTube. Really great to have your company. And so we're only new. We only started doing the live shows recently, but we're going to be with you every Wednesday, 10 till midday and 2 till 4, and the same on a Thursday as well. And then the best of shows are on a Sunday at 10 o'clock. And it's just so lovely. Honestly, this is a dream job, and so all the top garden presenters and experts are with us in our potting shed in the middle of YouGarden Nursery as well.
But I think beautiful Lincolnshire as well.
It is.
Yeah, stunning.
Oh,
stunning
the driveway is wonderful because there's so many fields and there's so many plants.
Yeah, I saw woodpeckers this morning on the way here, and rabbits. And
it's great.
Wow,
And
this is wonderful place.
And in our breaks, we can just walk out to the nursery, 11 acres of it as well. So if you want to go for these, say what I would do, I would buy these, but I'd definitely put other things in your basket. You'll only pay the one postage of $6.99, and it's one postage per order. Remember, whatever the highest postage is, that will cover the entire order, which is brilliant. And you get your free gift if you're popping that code YGTV9. But I think they're one of the nicest hanging baskets I've ever seen, Adam.
And
really
also,
do.
Sean, the summer hanging baskets now, they are still looking quite good, but soon the summer hanging baskets, they're going to start to sort of go over a little bit. Like the petunias sometimes get a bit mildewy, and some of the leaves start to go a bit yellow, and they start to look a little bit tired and a little bit tatty, the summer ones. So just imagine, you can just take those summer ones down, pop these up, and just get that instant burst of colour. You could tell somebody you grew them yourself if you wanted. You don't have to say you got them from us, do you? But
I mean,
because people are going to see these and they're going to go, "Wow, how did you get that? Where did you get them from?" Because they are stunning. Yeah.
And you are saving £20 today as well. I think they are incredible. We are getting more of you watching right now.
I like also the fact you've got a nice depth to that basket as well. So that's not going to dry out really, really quickly. Sometimes the baskets are really shallow. They'll dry out super quickly. But also, it's not going to freeze solid as well in the really cold weather, unless it's very, very cold. So they've got lots of lovely root space, those pansies, to keep growing, to keep thriving, to draw on moisture, to draw on feed. And the autumn insects, the autumn bees and stuff, or the autumn pollinators are still around for quite some time. They're going to love these as well. And if you're just looking out your window at the moment and you've looking around, you've got those those brackets with no hanging baskets on, well, don't just leave them hanging up there looking bare and looking sad. Get a couple of these, pop them on, and instantly you've lifted your mood, you've lifted the garden.
And the value is amazing. If you are a club member, you'll get the best part of £3 off those as well. Do bear that in mind. You will get your free gift, which is worth $4.99. So the value is phenomenal with the pre-planted rattan pansies.
All the hard work done, Shaun,
it is. Yeah. And you are getting two of them for that price. And I will say as well, the planter month sold out. Everyone wants the pansy cool wave, particularly in this berries and cream, because they cascade, they are prolific flowers, they'll flower for 9 months of the year.
Hardly down to minus 25. Yeah. I mean, they're going to be flowering for longer than they're not flowering. That's the thing.
Yes.
Yeah. And they cascade as well.
Yeah.
I mean, what's not to like about these plants? They're simplicity themselves. I mean, this whole concept is simplicity itself, because everything is there, the flowers are there, lovely, lovely deep green healthy foliage as well.
It's just amazing.
All you've got to do is feed them, perhaps deadhead them a little bit, and just keep enjoying them for month after month after month after month. And then later next summer, probably about sort of May time, something like that, if they start to go over a little bit, just take the scissors to them, trim them down, put the basket somewhere a little bit shady and cool, but keep them watered, keep them moist. Leave them there till about this time of year again, end of August, beginning of September. You'll see they'll start to come back, and they'll do this for you all over again.
I mean, as you said, what is not to like? I think these will be the most popular item today. We've already sold out of the plug plants, but go for these two stunning rattan hanging baskets, pre-planted, delivered straight to your door for just $29.98. For club members, you will get £3 off those, give or take a few pence as well. But we had our live shows yesterday. Come and join me, Adam. And one of the top sellers, no surprises, our premium professional compost.
I love
over the years, I mean, you and I, Adam, we presented many shows for many years. You love this, I love this. Every single, I think, customer that I've ever known on our previous garden shows on a Sunday morning.
Well, I'm going to do that.
We were doing it yesterday. Oh, God, Adam.
Yeah, I absolutely love smelling that compost, because it just smells so fresh. I mean, sometimes you open a bag of compost and it smells musty, it smells mildewy. It doesn't, but you can smell the goodness in this. I mean, if I was one of these sort of plants here, or these bulbs over there, this would be nirvana for me to get into this compost and to be able to grow away.
And we should say here at YouGarden, all the plants, they are grown in this premium professional compost, and that that gives you an idea. Every year, YouGarden, they send out millions of plants and deliveries. So this is the professional compost that they use. Why is it so good then, Adam?
Well, I mean, first of all, because it's lightweight, because it's aerated, but it's the ingredients, Shaun. I mean, and I must stress right from the start, this is a reduced peat compost as well. And this has been reduced peat for a long time.
Yeah, it has, yeah.
And
that's obviously to keep up with, with the environment and changes.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And there's two types of peat. This is a light and dark peat, which basically just means that younger and older peats. But what we've done is we've put those two peats in, but say we've reduced the amount of peat. And somebody might say, well, hold on a minute. You're saying those two constituents are really fantastic, but you've reduced it. But what we've done, we've put composted wood fibre into this as well. So that is another fantastic element. And putting all of those together just creates a compost that is just ideal for practically anything that grows, because you've got air in there. You can let the water percolate, and you've got that perfect balance where the compost is never too wet, never too dry. It's never going to become waterlogged, so the roots die off. And there's a wetting agent in this. So that means, for example, some composts, when you buy them, and you put your plants in and the compost dries out. When you go to water it,
it alters
like
that.
water off a duck's back.
Yeah,
runs
and it's
straight
so
off.
annoying, isn't it?
Yeah, and you have to take them down, soak them in a bucket to really get the compost wet. This has got a wetting agent, so it almost makes the compost like kitchen towel. It makes it super absorbent. It wants to suck in the moisture. It wants to rehydrate itself, and there's slow release fertiliser in here as well. And I just know from past experience, from using this compost myself, you will get the most staggering results. Yeah. I mean, it does make a huge difference.
People often say to me, and I'm not as experienced as Adam. I haven't won gold medals at Chelsea, but people do tend to come and say, in fact, the pub garden that I look after, somebody did say the other day, so this makes me sound big-headed, but this lady did say, it's like being at Chelsea, because it's looking, it's looking really good. But a lot of it is down to the products that I've bought from YouGarden, including the fantastic compost, and the blooming fast, actually. They're two absolute winners, aren't they?
They are, and I always remember years ago, when I was driving along, and there was this huge lorry in front of me, and their kind of logo on the back for this company was we get the best out of our products by putting the best in. And, and I thought that is so true, and that is true with gardening, because at the end of the day, especially things you grow in pots and troughs and hanging baskets and things like that, for example, they are limited to the soil, the compost, just in those pots. Some things out in the larger part of the world, in the garden, there's roots can go out further and they can find more nutrients. But when you've got stuff just restricted to pots, they're going to rely on you to give them the best compost, to give them the best start. And you cannot, I'll put my reputation behind this compost, you cannot get a better compost than this, because as I say, you've got that peat in there to hold on to the moisture, you've got that composted wood fibre in there as well, keeping that wonderful open texture, you've got the slow release fertiliser as well, you've got the wetting agent, which means it's so much easier to rehydrate the compost should it ever dry out, and also it's pH balanced as well, which means it's pretty much close to neutral, so that's going to suit a much wider range of plants.
And there are so many different composts out there at the supermarkets and the garden centres, and a lot of them are so inconsistent. You'll buy one bag and you think, that's quite nice. You buy another bag of the same thing, and it's suddenly really dark or wet, or it's got some kind of fungus on it.
I tipped out one some time back, and there was bits of sticks. Dark black bits of stick and stuff in there. And I was thinking, this has not even been broken down properly. This has not been properly composted.
This is so consistent. We must have opened up thousands of bags over the last 15, 20 years, and everyone.
But look how fibrous that is, Shaun. Just look at the texture of that. You almost kind of want to keep playing with it, because it just feels so lovely. And it feels so nice.
And what is so nice, and I hope you do it today, and I know many of you have now joined the club, because if you join the club, it's only £5 for the year on auto renewal, and you'll get 10% off this. So that'll give you a £2.50 saving every time you buy your compost, and you will get your free gift with that code there, YGTV9 of the Blooming Fast, which is worth nearly £5. So amazing deals to as well.
I also say about the bag, because you can see it's just in plain white bags, and the reason being is because this isn't going anywhere else before it goes to you. It's going straight to you. So we don't need to put all fancy logos and because this is not going to be stacked up somewhere at some other garden centre for month after month after month, getting all squashed and compacted. It's going to be packed fresh, sent out to you, so you get the best possible compost that you can buy.
I I know a friend of mine used to work for a certain garden company, and he told me that there's a lot of how do I put it? A lot of marketing goes into compost. They'll put, oh, they've added this or they've added that, but actually sometimes the amount of this miracle thing they've added is a tiny amount as well. Added seaweed or added this whatever.
Exactly.
But this is a real thing. It's a premium professional compost. You get 100 litres delivered straight to your door, and actually we always sell loads of compost. We get many orders every single day here at YouGarden, but the busiest times of the year, springtime and autumn, because a lot of you now will be doing your winter hanging baskets, your winter pots, you'll be replanting things that have maybe grown a bit too big during the summer. So get as much as you like now, and you will get it delivered absolutely free of charge.
And traditionally, Shaun, before garden centres were a thing, so going back Victorian times, perhaps sort of early 19th, 20th century, autumn was the main planting season. That's when everything was done. And of course, this time of year now, soon you'll be able to get hold of bare root plants.
Yes, of course.
Plants, and all those sorts of things will appreciate a prime, compost like this going in around that root ball or around those roots when you plant them.
And I always do that, don't you? Whenever I'm planting anything in the garden, actually,
mix some with the soil before you put it back into the hole.
Because you just know, you're giving it a really great chance.
Especially roses. If you're going to be buying bare root roses soon, this is going to be fantastic for them. Or, for example, we've got some fantastic bulbs to show you later on. This is just going to be amazing for those bulbs, because it's going to give them that really good drainage. Because one thing that bulbs hate in a pot is if the compost sits really wet, because come January, February, if they're in that really wet, heavy compost, they're going to rot off. With this, it always drains fantastically well. There's always that air circulation around there, so those roots aren't going to become all compacted and rotten and mildewy. They're going to thrive in this wonderful compost.
Well, I hope you get yours today. I hope you try it if you've never ordered it before, and it is 100125 with free delivery.
We could just talk about compost.
We could actually. Right, I'm going to give you a little tip, and I might get told off about this, but just pass me the blooming fasting on that board.
Oh, thank you. There you go, Shaun.
So you get your free gift with every order, okay? Now, because your compost is free postage, if you wanted to do 2 separate orders, you'd actually get 2 free gifts.
Yeah,
if you checked out twice. Now, that works if it's free delivery, which it is on here, okay? If you're doing a big order, then I wouldn't advise that, because you only pay 1 postage on the big order. So if it's a big order and you're going for the hanging baskets, lots of other things, do it all in one go and you only pay 1 postage. Whatever the highest P&P is for, generally speaking, the biggest item, that's what you pay for the whole order. But if it's free items like this, you want to go for a couple of them. If you did it in 2 separate orders, you get 2 free gifts.
You're a savvy shopper, aren't you?
That's what I do.
You should do this for a living.
I just want you to say it, brother. I might get into trouble for telling you that. So if I'm not, I'm not here next week anyway, because I'm on holiday. I know it's a lovely Hayley and Shaun that are going to be here, and Bex and Peter. So there's a whole team here with YouGarden TV. Hey, we better get moving though. We've got loads to show you, haven't we? I tell you what, I keep spotting those urns.
Yeah.
Oh my word. Honestly, every time I look down, I keep seeing these urns. They are spectacular. They are on offer today as well, and we have got a pair of these for just $24.99. Now, you were saying, we've planted just one of these up, but you were saying, Adam, that these are great for what they call lasagna planting, aren't they?
Which is what you do with bulbs. I mean, you think of lasagna, when you think of the food lasagna, it's got different layers.
Yes.
And that's where the idea comes from. You can do that with bulbs. Now, for example, you might have crocus bulbs that are going to flower in January or February. You might have tulip bulbs that are going to flower in April, May, even early June. And by planting different bulbs at different levels within that urn, you're going to extend that flowering season. So, as I say, you could start off with crocuses to begin with, then you could perhaps have some daffodils, then you could perhaps have some tulips, and then later on you could have some alliums, all in one single planter. So if you've got a small space, a restricted space, just a little balcony or a veranda, or just a little space outside either side of your front doorstep, you don't need to worry about that now if you want to grow different bulbs, because you can grow all these different bulbs all in one planter.
And because you've got the depth in those urns, if you planted something that's got long, deep roots, again, they're going to be absolutely fine in these. Now, the planters, they look gorgeous, don't they? The RRP for these, by the way, is nearly £50. You're getting 2 today here on YouGarden TV for $24.99. But the great thing is, these are frost-proof, they're lightweight, they're UV resistant. In fact, they should last years, if not decades, shouldn't they?
They will, and I'm going to be really honest with you now, because up until probably a couple of years ago, I would not have plastic planters.
Yeah, I was the same.
I just wouldn't. And now I've actually repotted some of my house plants into plastic pots, and for the first time this year, I've got some plastic planters outside. For the simple reason is they don't look like plastic planters anymore. Years ago, you used to see the seam down the you'd see that big seam down the side. They would kind of look a bit shiny. You could just tell. But I mean, now they are just produced so incredibly well that they just look like the real thing.
And I was just the same as you, Adam. I always thought, oh no, I've got to have what I'd call the real thing. But the trouble is, with ceramic planters, they're really heavy. They do crack, and because of climate change, we've had, extreme temperatures over the past few years. So, when it's 40 degrees in summer and then minus 15 in winter, whatever, those ceramic planters, those pot planters, can easily crack and break. Also, we're getting on a bit now, Adam, so, lifting those heavy...
Speak for yourself. I'm only 28. Twice.
Garden, I was going to say... I thought being a gardener king, you're going to... But no, seriously, I can't lift heavy things like I used to do.
And also, you mentioned about the terracotta pots as well. They wick away moisture as well, so they dry out really, really quickly. And also, funny enough, I was looking at one in my garden a couple of mornings back. I was having my breakfast, and I've got a bougainvillea in a terracotta pot.
Yeah.
But the pot is now covered in all this green slime on the outside, where it's sort of wicked away the moisture. And I picked it up a few days ago to move it, and it's like, green slime all over my hands. It looks really unattractive. You're not going to get that with these pots. That's not going to happen. And if you've got a roof garden, for example, and you can't have lots of heavy pots, or you've got a balcony or something like that, these are going to be ideal, because these are going to look like they're made of stone. These are going to look like something in that kind of zone, but none of the problems you get with those really heavy stone pots.
And the price is only $24.99 for two. In fact, I did look at the price of one of these. I can't quite get there, so I'm sure. In fact, can I just squeeze out? Can I do? Yeah. Oh no, I don't want to knock the basket off. But I'll tell you what.
I might be able to grab one from this side for you. There we go.
Go on then, Adam.
I'm on it.
I just didn't want to knock it. Just look at the bottom, Adam, because I think.
Oh.
Has it got the price still on, or has it come on?
Yes, it has.
Yeah.
What? Oh no, come on.
God, show it over there.
Right, hold on, I'm just going to get up the right way, so...
There you go.
It says...
That's just $29.99.
$29.99.
Yeah, that was for one. So we are going to give you two today for $24.99. And don't forget, postage-wise, you only pay the postage once. So if you're putting together a big order, you'll only pay one postage. Whatever the highest postage is, that will cover the entire order. But I think they look absolutely spectacular. They're going to last you years, and they're going to look... I think they're going to give your garden a real feel of grandeur and opulence, and with the depth and the size of those, there's so many things you can plant.
That's really important, Shaun. You mentioned the depth on those as well, because again, that means you can put larger plants in there because you've got that depth of soil, compost for the roots to get down into, and it also means in the summertime much more compost to stay moist, so the plants aren't going to dry out so quick, and also means in the winter they're not going to freeze solid so quick as well, because if you've got quite small planters and we get -3, -4 one night, well, they're probably going to freeze solid to the middle. These might freeze a little bit around the outside, but the roots right in the middle are still going to be frost-free. The way I just picked that one up just now as well, I mean, imagine trying to do that with a stone urn, for example. You'd need one of those little sack barrows or something, and then they fall over, they break, they chip, they get covered in algae, they're going to crack if they freeze. They are nice, but there's just so many issues around them. These will last you 10, 15, 20 years. They're UV resistant, Shaun said, frost resistant.
And we've got an amazing price on today's live show. I'm going to say again, if you have just joined us on YouTube, Facebook, also we're live on our website, of course, YouGarden.com. And that's been, I mean, the website looks great already, but what we're going to be doing over the next few weeks, if you missed a show, you're going to be able to watch it again. You're going to be able to stream it because a lot of people stream nowadays. So honestly, it's going to just get better and better here at YouGarden TV. If you've got YouTube on your TV, and do you know, so many people said to me, oh, I didn't realise you could watch on YouTube. Yeah, honestly, you know, if you've got an app, YouTube app on your TV, and it's probably alongside Netflix and Amazon and all those, just go to YouTube, type in YouGarden, you'll see that little watering can symbol and all of our footage that we've got on the live shows on YouTube. And it's really, really good quality as well. And if you've got a Fire Stick, if you just say to Alexa or whatever, watch YouGarden on YouTube, will come straight up. So it's going to get easier and easier to watch and to order. Well, actually, it's very easy to order anyway.
And I'll tell you what is super magnificent as well, is because this is my first time here, is that we are actually at the place where the plants come from. We're at the nursery. We're in the middle of the nursery. That's what's so... I mean, all these plants, they're out there. Yeah. Hundreds, thousands of them.
We're surrounded by 11 acres of plants. We are very happy men, aren't we?
Bees and pollinating butterflies and everything out there as well. So, yeah, we're not in some remote destination kind of talking about things that are miles and miles away.
That's where we are.
Yeah, I mean...
that's our home. This is our home.
I mean, we might get a hands-free camera one day and we can literally walk out and walk you round, and we can show you the plants in situ. So you can see how healthy they are, how vibrant they are. You can see how well they're cared for. And you can see there, I mean, look at the butterflies on those scabious, just sort of buzzing away.
Do you know, I was describing my new job to friends last night, and I said, I love it because pretty much everyone here, they're all passionate about gardening. That's what they've chosen to work in. You know, we're all gardeners. We all love plants, and I think gardeners, generally speaking, are really nice people, don't you?
They are generous people as well.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, because gardeners are always sharing things. Sharing, not only just sharing their information and their tips and knowledge, but sharing plants and, you know, cuttings and all sorts of things like that. It's a fantastic community, and of course, in more recent times, people have realised the mental benefits of gardening as well. I mean, it just calms the mind, it calms the body. It just, watching things grow, it just makes you just feel, you know, harmony with yourself.
Well, we better continue though, because we've got so many things to show you. And I've got to share these with you. I bet you're sitting at home going, tell me about those tulips. Well, we are going to right now, because these are the tulip springtime doubles. Oh my word, 20 of these, $11.99, postage included. These are breathtaking, aren't they?
I actually grew these myself as well from YouGarden. Year before last, I got some of these. Not this colour mix. Mine were red and yellow. Ah, Shaun, they were stunning, absolutely stunning. And what really surprised me as well was I thought, oh, hold on a minute, these huge, great big double flower heads, I'm not sure the stems are going to hold up. I'm worried these flowers are going to flop and fall over. They did not. They actually stood really proud on these really solid, rigid stems, and they stayed in flower for about 2 to 3 weeks.
Because am I right in saying, because they're doubled, they're almost they remind me of peonies, really.
They are like peony-like, aren't they?
Am I right in saying that the rain doesn't bash them around as much?
No. I mean, they are really, really weather resistant. I was really surprised, and they just look so magnificent. They look like something from a Monet painting. They are such glorious colours, so elegant, so pretty.
And I wanted to talk about the bulbs, because the quality that YouGarden bring us with their bulbs is outstanding. We just opened these earlier. Every bulb is of a really good size. There's no little tiddly bulbs in there that are not big enough to produce a tulip. Everyone is designed to give you a magnificent tulip. And
well, I would say, Shaun, when you plant a bulb, you plant a promise. And the reason is because in the middle of every single bulb, if you used to cut that bulb in half now, right in the middle, you'd see this little embryonic flower that's already in the middle of that bulb. So all you've got to do is put that bulb in the ground, and nature will do the rest. And when you're buying quality size bulbs like this as well, you know they're going to flower. This is called little paper bit on the outside. That's called the tunic. That just sort of protects the bulb when you put it in the ground. Plant tulips somewhere nice and sunny, well drained, or in pots, troughs. You can even put them in hanging baskets. Just put them in, leave them, they'll come up next spring. And
they'll be amazing.
It's surprising how long they last. I mean, I had tulips this year that stayed in flower for almost 3 or 4 weeks before the petals fell off. But these ones are magnificent because these are just so glorious. They've got such grandeur to them.
I mean,
look at the colour mixture there as well.
I would love everyone to pop those in the basket today. You've got postage included. And do you know what? Even if you're just placing your first order today on YouGarden TV, it's only $11.99 for 20 of those. And you will get your free gift, the Blooming Fast, which is worth nearly £5. That's your premium professional fertiliser as well.
Something else I do with those as well. I'd buy 2 packets of those. I'll tell you why. Because one, I would have in the garden or my pots or troughs, whatever, to enjoy. And another, I'd plant perhaps on my allotment or in the kitchen garden, you know, long straight row, cut flowers.
Yeah.
Because
cut flowers are expensive nowadays, aren't they?
And those, I mean, imagine a vase of those that you've grown yourself, sort of next April, May time in the living room, big vase of those gorgeous, gorgeous tulips.
And I'm working out, you know, your free gift, and this is your free gift with every order today. Just put YGTV9 in your basket. That's worth £4.99. So the tulips equate to £7, and you get free delivery as well. So I think they're a must. I'm ordering those. That will be. I've already placed 2 orders.
And great for that lasagna planting as well, because those will be, your tulips will be kind of your final bulbs that are going to take you right up until probably May into early June with that colour. And we're going to be talking about crocuses soon, and they're going to be giving you that colour right at the beginning of the bulb season, so probably from late February to March.
We should say, as you're placing your orders and putting baskets together, if you come out of the show as you place your order, if you're only watching on one device, there's a big banner at the top now on our website. Just click that and we reappear as if by magic. But we better move on to one of the top sellers from yesterday. And it was the Rebecca Little Gold Star. Bex yesterday was hosted with me yesterday. She's got these in her garden. We're doing a set of 3 of these, only $14.97, 561050. But you're also going to get postage included. Now, I've not grown these in my garden yet, Adam, but they're really hard little workers, these aren't they?
They are. What I'm going to do...
Oh, wow.
I just wanted to do that. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put that back in, because look at this. I mean, this is a stunningly good plant.
It is, isn't it?
And you want to see this, not me. That's why I put it right in front of my face. Watch. I mean, look at the root system on that plant. That is phenomenal.
I mean, that really is, isn't it?
Look at that. That shows you what an incredibly healthy plant that is. Now, Rebecca are absolutely glorious plants. First of all, you've got those lovely, lovely leaves, and they're almost a bit hosta-shaped, aren't they, Shaun, those leaves
they
on
are,
there?
actually.
I mean, not as big as hosta leaves, but they've got that kind of
nice
shape.
Yeah.
They spread as well, Rebecca's, which is good. They kind of seem almost like runners under the ground. So, and I bought some from YouGarden year before last. Slightly different variety to this. Oh my goodness me, at the moment I've got a patch of these, probably almost 1.5 metres by 1.5 metres from about 6 plants initially. They're about 40 to 50 centimetres high, and they are smothered in these fantastic yellow daisy-like flowers, these sort of black button in the middle.
And what's the position that's best for these?
These will do
Sunny
well. They'll do well in sun. They love full sun, but they will do okay in a sort of partial shade or dappled shade. They won't like deep shade, but you know, full sun is ideal for them. But if they're getting sort of say 2 or 3 hours of sun in the morning and then shade in the afternoon, that would be okay.
Really?
They do well.
And presumably die down in the winter.
Yeah, they die down in the winter. They're what's known as a hardy herbaceous perennial, which means probably by the end of October the leaves all turn yellow and the stems sort of go brown, and then you can just take them down to ground level. You won't see anything till the spring, and then very late winter you'll see these little green shoots just starting at the base, and then they get going. But what I like about Rebecca's is they're plants that come late summer into the autumn. They give you that burst of colour when other things have gone over.
A lot of things die down at this time. Yeah.
So I mean, I must bring a picture in next time of my Rebecca's at home, because they're absolutely flowering their socks off now. They've got loads more buds coming, as you can see in this picture here. Loads and loads of different buds coming. So I know my Rebecca's are going to go on right up until about the end of September, even to October. The bees adore them. They're covered in bees all day long, bees and butterflies. Easy plant to grow. And so you've got 3 stonkingly brilliant plants there as well, with that fabulous root system. And this is the time of year to get them in the ground, because the ground has been warmed up now all summer. The ground is now at the warmest point it can be. It's nice and moist because we had a much damper summer this year. Put these in the ground. They're going to root into the soil very, very quickly, get established. You might even get some with flowers on already when they arrive. Can't guarantee that.
Because these are from our stock outside. So some do have flowers on.
But next year, these will definitely flower for you, and year on year they'll get bigger. They'll just get more impressive, and they will last 20, 30 years. And you don't need to stake them. Just leave them, watch them, enjoy them.
And now is a great time to plant.
Optimum time, Shaun.
Yeah, it really is.
Time.
I mean, I've gardened all my life, but sometimes I would buy things in the height of summer and plant them, and it's really hard work.
Well, especially if we get a summer like last year.
Yeah.
Because the plants really struggled last year because it was so hot, it was so dry. Now it's just that lovely time of year for them where the days aren't super long now and the sun isn't so super hot. So those plants will just sort of nestle themselves in. They'll get their sort of roots down into the ground, and you're just introducing them to the garden in a nice, gentle way where they can have the optimum chance of establishing themselves. But these are tough plants. There's no winter that these won't get through. If you have a -10, a -15, a -20, these are going to come back because the root system is underground, protected from all that cold and wet and wind and rain. They'll come back year after year after year, as I say. Foliage to start with, and then from sort of midsummer all the way through to autumn, just these incredible, wonderful yellow, vibrant flowers, smothered in bees, smothered in butterflies, make great cut flowers as well.
Well, Adam, you've sold me them, seriously. Yeah, so they're good in the basket. And we've just had some orders go through for those as I speak. So, just to remind you, because these are such great value, postage included, $14.97. With every order today, you get your free gift, which is worth $4.99, which is your blooming fast, which makes approximately 20 watering cans of premium plant food,
which is phenomenal. And you've got all your trace elements in that as well. So that's a bit like your multivitamins. You know, you're not just getting your meat and 2 veg, you're getting all the extra bits and pieces you need as well with those with that feed for your plants.
I run a garden club in our village, and Peter McDermott, who owns a nursery, is kindly going to come and speak in October, and he's going to be bringing some free samples of blooming fast, and he's going to talk about it as well, because it is the best plant food we know.
And I like liquid feeds as well, because last year in particular, I noticed when people put granular feed down, because it was so dry, it never got dissolved.
No.
So when you use liquid feed, down into the soil instantly, up into the roots instantly, working instantly. Yeah. That's the great thing about liquid feed.
And every TV show, by the way, that we stream, you're going to get a free gift, and that is your gift today. 100085 is your item number, but do you know what? You don't have to remember that, because it will automatically go in your basket when you use the code at the bottom of the screen. Right, can we talk crocus, Adam?
I just thought we'd jump. You mentioned about those a moment ago, the value on those.
It's amazing, isn't it?
I just want to quickly say, honestly, Shaun, I've seen plants that size in garden centres for $6.99 each.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
Never mind 3.
So, and if you're a club member, you get £1.50 off those as well. So
that is
and you get a free gift here and free delivery as well. Because Adam, as well as being an award-winning gardener when it comes to design at Chelsea, he's a hands-on gardener.
Yeah,
he's a proper gardener.
Well, you can tell by the fingernails. You know, there's no gorgeous fingernails here. These are in the dirt fingernails.
My hands are they're so old now, because
I've got the same thing, but these are gardeners' hands. That's what you want.
But we're proud of our gardeners' hands, aren't we?
Absolutely.
But we're going to move on to the crocus, because these are a large flowered mixed variety, and now is the time, obviously, to plant your spring bulbs. And crocus were one of the first bulbs to flower. I adore crocus, I really do. But these are a large variety, aren't they? These are big,
huge, great big flowers on these. And you know what, Shaun? I adore crocuses as well, because when you've been through a British winter and it's been so cold, so grey, so gloomy, and
you and I hate the winter, don't
we do, and you're at the end of your tether because you just want colour, and you put these bulbs in, whether it be in pots, whether it be in borders, whether it be in the lawn, and you kind of forget they're there. And they come up, and especially when they're in grass, when they first come up, because the leaves look very similar to the surrounding grass.
You don't notice them.
You don't really notice them. And then you get that first warm day, or that little bit of warmth at the end of February or March, and they burst open. It's like, my goodness me.
Yeah, and it just
lifts your heart, doesn't it?
It does, because I'm like, I do get down in winter, and then suddenly the crocus come out, and you're like, do you know what? Spring's here, summer's on its way.
Yeah, and you see the first bee go into the middle of one of those flowers and start pollinating the flower, and that suddenly that mix of colour. Now, I've always been one of these gardeners. I'm very anti colour scheming stuff. I mean, it drives me mad when I look at all these magazines and they keep telling people, you've got to grow this colour with this colour, and you can't have that colour with that colour. Hogwash. That's what I mean. That's what I say.
And here's a gold winner at Chelsea several times over.
You know, I drove past a field near where I live in Swaffham a few weeks back, and it was a field full of ragwort, which is bright yellow. and full of willow herb, which is bright pink, and it was acres of it, and it was bright pink and bright yellow together, which designers would say never do. It looked amazing.
Really?
Yeah, nobody's going to drive past and say that those wild flowers don't work like that. And what I'm saying is, it's the same with these crocuses.
Yeah.
Come the spring, I'm not interested in just having purple and white. I'm not interested in just having white and yellow. I want all the colours, because I've spent months looking out at grey skies, looking at bare earth, looking at bare trees. I want as much colour as possible.
Do you know what I've learned about gardening though? We've all got different tastes and things, and it's about what you want in your garden, isn't it? Whatever ticks your box, whatever makes you happy,
sure.
you know?
Your back garden is one of the few remaining places on the planet that is completely private to you, that you can do exactly where you want, because when we go to work, we get told what we've got to wear, what uniform we've got to wear.
Yeah.
When we go out, we feel pressure to look a certain way.
Adam was told he could wear his flowered shirt for this show.
Yeah, and
on the previous channel, I used to get a bit of stick for that, but not now, not here.
No, I love wearing my...
Yes.
I love wearing my
I feel very
shirt.
drab next to you, actually, Adam.
No, you look very smart, Shaun.
Do I?
You do.
Hopefully not too smart. We only get gardening. But anyway, 30 of those, $11.99. Postage is included. And don't forget, put your off code in YGTV9 and you will get your free gift and any other promotions that I can.
And if you want to put these in a lawn, by the way, and you want to get that natural look, best thing to do is just get a handful of the bulbs and just throw them across the grass, and where they land, plant them. And that way, they'll look absolutely natural.
And do you work by the rule, whatever size the bulb is, plant it 2 to 3 times its size?
Yeah, so about 3 times the height of the bulb of soil above the top of the bulb. But I mean, generally, these crocuses, 2 or 3 inches down, 2 or 3, 4 inches. You don't have to be that anal about it, to be honest.
I'm never that exact.
No, you don't need to be. I mean, I've actually seen daffodil bulbs that somehow have been left on the surface of the soil, and they still put a little flower out. And that's not ideal, but but crocuses, ridiculously hardy bulbs. They'll come back year after year after year after year, and they'll start sort of doubling up and spreading, so you'll gradually get more and more of them. But for me, they just give you that incredible welcome on that first warmish day in late winter, early spring. They lift your heart, and these really are the harbingers of all that colour and joy and long days and sunshine and outside living to come. They're kind of welcoming in the spring and just really lifting your heart and your soul.
Well, they're definitely going in my basket today. I'm going to be. My garden's going to look better than ever working.
Or in your own with your Lasagna Planting.
Yes,
so
like that idea.
Yep.
So 600087 for the large flowered crocus. Now, something that I only started growing thanks to working with YouGarden. YouGarden provided all the plants on our previous shopping channel, on the garden bargain shows every Sunday morning. And I got into Alliums a few years ago. And actually, Adam helped design my garden, and you told me about Alliums, and I've got them there.
Yeah.
And honestly, in terms of drama and architecture, they're incredible, aren't they?
They are, yeah. I mean, Chelsea Flower Show, I've done Chelsea Flower Show a number of times. They're always super popular at the Chelsea Flower Show, because a lot of them flower about May, sort of late May into June. So they're always reliable. Oh, that's the Nectroscordum, that one that I was telling you about, Shaun.
Yes, I was
which
trying
has
to
got
get
the kind of hanging bell-like flowers on there
so
as well.
So go to these as we look at them, because you know the names.
Yeah, they're Purple Sensation.
Better than I do.
Yeah, that's the Purple Sensation.
That's the
those
big one,
ones.
isn't it?
Yeah, that's Allium Molly there, which is the little yellow one. That's one of the earlier sort of flowering ones as well. These ones that's the Negrum, I think. No, that's the white one, beg your pardon. That would be...
What's on this test here?
No, it is Negrum, yes.
Yes,
yeah, here's that one. Yeah.
And then the little purple ones.
Yes, they're the... Oh, I hate saying this word. Sphelocepharum.
Sphelocepharum.
I always struggle. Oh, that's the Purple Sensation.
That's an easy one.
Yeah, they're the kind of really big ones. And I don't know if we've got a picture. Oh, and they're my favourite, Christophii.
Yes, I've got those.
They remind me of exploding fireworks.
And they look great even when they've gone over and dried.
Yeah, just the seed head look good. But these are the easiest bulbs to grow. They're actually members of the onion family, and all they ask of you is put me somewhere sunny, well drained. They don't even need particularly rich soil. I've seen these grow on really sandy, gravelly kind of poor soils. Yeah. What they don't want heavy soil. They don't want wet soil. They don't even need really rich soil. They don't want to be fussed or mithered. They just want to be left to do their own thing. So if you've got an area at the base of a wall that's quite hot and dry, if you've got quite sandy soil or gravelly soil, like we've got up where I live up in Norfolk, they'll do really well there, but they'll do fantastic in pots. You can even put the smaller ones in hanging baskets, troughs. They come up year after year after year, and they spread and divide as well.
And what Adam and I were talking about before the show, we said, some bulbs have got a lot of leaf, and when that leaf, when the flower's gone over, you've got a lot of leaves that you have to wait to, watch them die down and things. These have got really quite insignificant leaves, haven't they?
Yeah,
and the leaves die down really quickly.
Yeah, well, you said, Shaun, with yours, the leaves almost start to die down before the flowers come. So, if sometimes for you bulbs annoy you a little bit because you don't want all those months and months of leaves dying down, with this you don't have that problem.
No. But honestly, the value that it works out 15 pence a bulb.
Yeah,
that is ridiculous.
And these bulbs will come up year after year after year after year. The purple sensation, absolutely magic. That's the purple sensation. These huge, great big balls on the top. They're flower balls.
And as I was saying, the seed heads look amazing. A lot of people just, when they're dry, just put them in their vases in their homes.
You can do that, or you can just leave them in the beds and borders themselves, because the structure of the seed head just looks so magnificent. They're just worth leaving in place. In fact, I'm just visualising in my head a garden that we look after in a place called Bishop Stortford, and they've got loads and loads of allium bulbs, and the seed heads are still in the border right now, all the months on after they've flowered, but they look good. And funny enough, I did start to take a few out the other day, and I stood back and I thought, I shouldn't have done that. Actually, I should have left them, so I did leave the rest, because the structure with all the other plants in there still look fantastic. Sometimes you can overdo it, you see.
Yeah, you can.
Less is more sometimes.
So get this today. Promise me, if you've not grown alliums before, that is such a great collection. You get a bit of everything in that. 100 of those for $14.99. But we urgently need to go back to one of the stars of the show, which is the Rebecca. And do you know what? Almost half of the people that have shopped with us on YouGarden TV this morning have bought the Rebecca, which is incredible. And you're getting, I'm not surprised, I mean, look, we all love a bargain, we all love a deal, and you're going to get 3 of these in the 9cm pots for $14.97. Postage is included, and you will get your free gift worth $4.99. So if you take off the value of the free gift, it's like getting 3 of these for less than £10 with free delivery. And I've never grown these before, so I said to Adam, I'm definitely going to order these today, because I like the fact I've got quite a new garden, I've got quite a lot of gaps still. And where there's gaps, you get weeds, and these are a great cover as well, aren't they?
These spread. I mean, I bought some from YouGarden about a couple of years ago, slightly different variety to this, but they have covered an area now about 1.5 metres by 1.5 metres.
Really?
Yeah.
And that was just 6 plants, did you say?
Yeah, it was just 6 plants. And
look at
the root system on that. I mean, that is just phenomenal. That shows you've got a really super healthy plant there.
Look at this.
And you could probably, as well, if you wanted to. Now, let's just have a look at this one here.
This is amazing.
You could probably, if you wanted to. Now, this is another little cheeky tip I'm going to give you, which perhaps I shouldn't, but you could actually, where you've got a gap in between there, you could actually, with a bread knife, slice straight down the middle, and you could make 2 plants from that one plant. Yeah. So the value becomes even more crazy. And the reason you can do that is because of that incredible root system. There'll be so much root left on those other 2 pieces, they're going to root in very, very quickly.
We should say, by the way, all of our plants do come with, all of our hardy plants come with a lifetime guarantee as well. So if you ever buy a plant that's hardy and it doesn't do what we say, just get in touch with our customer service and we will replace it. All you pay is the postage and packaging. 561051. Now, something else I bought since working here at YouGarden, my dream job, I bought this, and it's the Pride of Madeira. And I always wanted one of these, Adam. We've presented you before, and I thought, oh, shall I get it? But actually, I'll be honest, there were sometimes about £40. We've got the very last of these that we're clearing the stock of right now, because we come towards the end of the season, and we're doing a price on these of less than £15. I'll give you the details in a second. But Adam, this is a really spectacular, exotic plant.
Yeah, this is absolutely magnificent. I mean, it looks magnificent at the moment.
Yeah,
just
it does.
The structure there, and these lovely kind of what they call like glaucous blue leaves here as well. These lovely kind of furry leaves that are sort of glistening in the light. And the reason that they've kind of got this look as well is because where they would naturally grow be the Canaries and places like that. So they're quite intense sun. That kind of leaf colour protects those leaves. But it gets even better than that, because eventually you get these incredible spikes of
Look at these.
mind-blowingly gorgeous blue flowers.
And they can be really big, can't they?
They can, yeah. I mean, you can get up to 3 or 4 feet on these, if not even taller. And every one of these flowers is just going to attract so many bees. The bees go berserk for these flowers. They just love the nectar in these. And you just will get a plant that is so statuesque, so stunning, so different, so unusual. Now, what I will say to you is, if you live right down on the south coast, if you live Devon, Cornwall, somewhere super, super mild, you could get away with just growing this in the main garden all the way through the winter, but plant it in the most sheltered, sunniest, warmest, well-drained position possible. For everyone else, plant it in a pot. Just plant it in a pot with our compost. Keep it somewhere super, super sunny and bright, but in the winter time, just bring it somewhere away from the worst of the weather. You know, make sure it doesn't get to be subjected to severe frost.
Because it is harder to -5.
To -5, yeah.
So, I mean, some winters, we've had winters where it's got nowhere near -5.
Absolutely.
But then last year it got to, my area, about -8 it got to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's good, good advice.
If it's in a pot, you could just bring it. It doesn't need mollycoddling. It doesn't want to be somewhere warm. I mean, it could be somewhere that just goes down to freezing. So if you've got an unheated greenhouse, it's not going to get too cold, or a spare room that you don't heat or something like that. As long as it's got a bit of light, it'll be fine. And another thing I'm going to tell you as well, and I'll be honest with you, you might find, come the end of the winter, the plant does look a little bit sad. Some of the leaves might have gone a bit yellow, dropped off. Some of the leaves might have kind of gone a bit discoloured. Don't worry about that. That plant's just got the winter blues. What you'll find is, as soon as those days start to lengthen, as soon as that light level starts to increase, you'll suddenly see all these wonderful new shoots coming out from the leaf axils. And by May, June time, this will be full of these gorgeous, super healthy leaves. And then, of course, you're going to get that spectacular eruption of those gorgeous, gorgeous blue flower spikes.
Don't you think the price, and you've worked on many of the garden shows with me, Adam, $14.99 for that, for that size, is incredible.
For a plant this big is phenomenal. I mean, that, and it's how many stems? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stems, and every one of those stems is going to produce probably 3 or 4 of those flower spikes. So, fast forward, 6, 7 months, you can only imagine, Shaun, what this is going to look like. Really, this is a spectacular statement plant.
And as a really keen gardener, I always like to grow things that are a little bit different. I love it when, friends and neighbours come out to the garden and oh, what's that? And they've got that sort of garden envy. So that's why I bought this. I've always wanted one. The price is amazing right now. If you're a member of our club, don't forget, it costs £5 for the year. You'll get as you check out, you'll get a little reminder about that. It's £5 per year on auto renewal. You get 10% off that. But Adam, come and join me, because
we're going to live walk.
We are going to live walk in our new studio. So there we go. You first. So we're going to go back to where we started. And if you have just joined us, by the way, good morning and welcome to YouGarden TV. We're here every Wednesday, 10 till midday. Midday, we have a break and we wander around the nursery because it's lovely, and we're back at 2 till 4, the same on a Thursday, and then the best of shows are on a Sunday at 10 o'clock. And it's going to be, that schedule is fixed now, so always join us on the live shows. If you can't join us live, you can stream us later, of course, on YouTube and on the YouGarden website as well. But the TV shows always are going to bring you special offers that you will not get elsewhere. So on today's show, that code is YGTV9. That will give you your free gift, if you can just very kindly pass it to me, which is your blooming fast worth $4.99. It will make 20 watering cans of premium fertiliser and plant food. It is brilliant. It's what I use. It's what Adam uses. It's a top seller. You'll get one of those free with every order. But we're going to go back to these spectacular hanging baskets that I know you'll have absolutely loved. And I mean, this is what you get. These will delivered. We aim to deliver within a week, by the way, but 2 of these, and I'll give you the details because they're under £30. And these are the Pansy Coolwave award winning.
Statement plants, Shaun. These are statement plants.
Let me just bring one up to you.
Hardly down to -25 as well, which is, I mean, nowhere gets to -25, does it? In this country anyway.
Hopefully not.
So basically, anywhere in the UK, you can grow these. And what's phenomenal about these is this is how they're going to come to you now, out of the box, already in full flower.
Amazing, aren't
Look
they?
at the mixture of colours there, from those solid, deep purple colours to some that are just almost plain white, almost sort of blushed pink, and then a myriad of different. It's almost like every flower, Shaun, is
individual.
unique,
Yeah.
individual.
Yeah.
You can almost not see any one flower there that's exactly the same as the other. They're just.
I love the amount of flowers, and you can get hundreds, probably thousands over the next 9 months.
And I like the way the flowers are moving there. Because in the wind, you just see those little nodding heads of flower, and you can just imagine these either side of your front door, either side of your back door, opening the box, hanging them up.
Yeah.
Instantly, you've got the joy, you've got the colour.
YouGarden, they're experts. They have done all of the hard work.
And even the basket, look, lovely wicker basket as well. So that's a lovely, natural, lovely looking basket there as well. You've got those wonderful solid chains that are going to keep this supported all the way through the windy, wet weather. And months and months and months of flower colour from these, and feed them with our blooming fast feed as well. That will keep those flowers going, it will keep them healthy. And remember, these are not just for Christmas, these are not just for New Year, these are not just for spring, these are perennial plants. So next summer, when they finally kind of start to stop flowering, take the scissors to them, or the secateurs, trim them back to about 1/2 inch or so tall, put the basket somewhere cool and out the way of full sun, but keep it watered, feed it, and then in the autumn they'll start to regrow. And they will do this all over again for you, because these are actually perennial plants. They're not throwaway bedding plants. These are perennials.
And sometimes we do forget that. They just don't like the height of summer, do they?
No.
They're like me. I mean, my friends call me half ginger because they do. But I don't like the height of summer. I love the garden, but they are offensive. They say it kindly, but I suffer a bit when it gets really hot in the summer because of my skin colour and things like that. And these will be the same. But you get 9 months of flowering, won't you?
You do.
And then they'll come back next year.
And some plants react to different day length as well. So, for instance, when the days get really long, for pansies, that's saying it's time to stop flowering. It's time to go to sleep for a bit.
They get exhausted.
But then when the days start to shorten again, as they are now, that's their time to spruce up, to spring up again, and start giving you these months and months, but hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of flowers for such a long period. And these slightly cascade as well. So many different features on these.
I mean, they are just the most amazing breed of pansy. We've brought you Pansy Cool Wave for quite a few years now on YouGarden, but we've never done this colour palette before, and it's called Berries and Cream. We've actually completely sold out of the Berries and Cream currently as individual plug plants. I'm glad I got mine, but we have got them pre-planted in these absolutely divine hanging baskets. Now, we've only got 198 flowers left on here. Now we've got 197 because we've been eating these. They are edible.
They are edible, yeah.
They actually do taste nice.
Yeah.
196 flowers left. Looks like loads more are coming.
Oh,
they're really nice. Because I watch a lot of the cooking shows, because I'm a very average cook. I'm a good gardener. Not as good as him, obviously. But I'm an average cook. But the top chefs, they do decorate the plates beautifully, and they often do decorate with pansies, don't they?
Yeah,
they're really nice tasting.
Yeah, I will identify that taste eventually, because I know it, but I can't quite put my finger on it.
To me, it's just salady, water.
Yeah, it's
salad leafy.
Yeah, no, nice flavour.
Right, no, leave it alone.
But anyway, we're not supposed to be eating
them. The boss's watch is like, what are you doing to the...
supposed to be enjoying them, not eating them.
Yeah. Now, what I'd love to do, if you have just joined us, I just need to tell you a few things about YouGarden and our brand new TV show. So many of you know that for many years, myself, Adam, Peter McDermott, Bex was with me yesterday, we were all there on the garden shows on, of course, our previous shopping channel. Now we're direct at the nursery that provided those plants for many years, YouGarden, and this is a brilliant nursery. It's one of the biggest, if not the biggest in the UK, over 11 acres. So many of the plants are grown here, which means that the team can keep a really good eye on everything. It means that the standards are outstanding. It's a very slick operation. Peter is meticulous with his team, so everything is so carefully looked after. And we are right in the middle of this nursery. So we're in our potting shed, our new home. We have access to all of these wonderful plants. And our show is going to be streamed every Wednesday, 10 till midday, 2 till 4, and the same on a Thursday, and then the best of shows. See that reservoir there? That was built in the last few years, and that saves us millions of litres of watering. So we also try and be as environmentally friendly as possible. All of our packaging is recyclable. A lot of all the vehicles that lift and things like that are now electric, so we are doing, you know, as much as we can to help with the environment as well. Now, for you wonderful viewers right now, and I know, you know, many of you are now finding us because we stream live on YouTube. And by the way, if you're watching us on your tablet but you've got a smart TV, just find the YouTube app and just type in YouGarden and we'll pop up. And you'll be able to see previous shows and obviously the new shows. And then Peter's recorded lots of little clips to give you extra information about specific plants and lots of gardening ideas as well. So we're really excited to be here. We also stream live on Facebook and of course on the YouGarden website. But my job is also to save you money, because I'm my friends that know me and say I run a garden club in our village, and they're always like, you're so thrifty when it comes to gardening. I'm not. I like to get the best value because plants can be expensive. So every TV show has a special code. This one has the code YGTV9. You must put that code in your basket. It's not an option, you need to do it, because if you don't, you won't get the savings and you won't get the best value. The good thing is every single customer that's ordered today has used the code. Thank you so much. It will break my heart if you don't, because you're going to get free blooming fast with every order today. If you place several orders, you'll get 7 of these if you place the orders separately. One thing I will say, that works if the postage is free, and certain items do have free postage. So with the compost, for example, if you did 2 separate orders of the compost, you get 2 of these. But if you are buying lots of things, and some things obviously do have postage, it's better to do just 1 order because you only pay the postage once. So that is really good. That's what I love about the new show. You know, if you're even buying 30 items, you'd only pay 1 postage, which would be the most expensive item P&P wise, probably the heaviest or the biggest. So just trying to give you a few tips in terms of saving money. Now, also, I joined the club a couple of weeks ago because I know I'm going to be buying a lot working here. Of course I am. And I would love you to join the club as well. Have many people joined today, Stu? Yeah, great. A lot of you join the club. It makes sense, and I'll tell you why. Because club membership is normally £20. We have got an offer on right now, so it's only £5 for auto renewal or £10 for the year. I've gone for auto renewal because you can cancel at any time, so it makes sense to go for that. £5 for the year. What benefits does the club give us? Well, it gives us 10% off every plant and accessory order. How good is that? Accessories include things like your compost, by the way. So I know that I'm going to get, well, I've already got my money back from joining the club. I've already saved loads of money. You get 5% off every outdoor living and gift order. That includes things like, you know, hedge cutters, lawnmowers, any of our sort of like garden machinery. You'll get 5% off. We only work on very small margins on those, so to get that extra saving is great. But you're going to get your vouchers as well, £20 worth of YouGarden vouchers to use throughout the year. You use them every 3 months, so every 3 months you can use one of the vouchers, but that's to me like getting £20 worth of cash almost for the year, and you're going to get exclusive offers, competitions and expert advice as well. So all you need to do, join the club and you get your discount with your first order, basically. So pop it in your basket as you place your order and you will get all of those extra benefits as well. I do love my new job here, I really do, here with YouGarden TV. And would love you, if you want to follow me on social media, it's Shaun, S-H-A-U-N, Ryan, presenter and plant man. I would love you to follow me. On Instagram, it's just Shaun Ryan TV. But, you know, I'll often tell you what about the shows coming up and give you, say, some little views of my garden. But, yeah, you'll get to find out a lot more about the shows and me and my gardening on social media as well. Shaun Ryan, presenter and plant man. But you get to hear a lot about the shows as well. Right, Adam, do you want to... Hang on. Which way are you going? No, stay there, Adam. Don't worry. Are you ready? I'm ready. Oh, well, come and join me there. So Adam was just carting out this huge oleander that's coming up, but he's done it now, haven't you?
I was just going to get it in the best position, but I think it's in the best position, actually.
It is.
I wanted to see it its best.
So Adam Woolcott is with me. We've got, so you get all the top gardeners on the show. Today it's Adam. Very familiar face. We've presented the garden shows for many years. And actually, you're the only gardener that I've worked with on the shows that has got numerous awards, gold awards, silver guild awards and silvers at Chelsea Garden.
Yeah, Chelsea Flower Show,
Yeah.
as well as 3 BBC OHS People's Awards. Had a best garden category award. Yeah, so
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, lots of.
But I like the fact that you're not just a garden designer; you're a hands-on proper gardener.
Well, that's probably predominantly exactly what I am.
Yeah, that's what you do most of the time.
That's what happened to begin with, and it wasn't until we kind of did Chelsea a couple of times, and we did very well, obviously. And then people said, "Well, why don't you become garden designers?" And we said, "Well, we're not garden designers." And they said, "Well, you've just won gold medals at Chelsea Flower Show. I think you must be." So so the design came second.
But I love the fact that you're a proper, real hands-on gardener.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the compost item, because you've bought this compost like I have for many, many years. It's our top-selling item. Loads of you have been ordering this, of course. It's 100125, and today the RRP is £42.97. You get 100 litres for £24.98, and your free gift, and 10% off if you're a club member. So why is this compost so good?
Because of the ingredients, Shaun, because of the mix of ingredients as well. This is a professional compost that's been really, really well thought through. And for me, the first thing that I always do with any compost is I smell it. I sniff it. I do. Because
I do. Because some compost smell really awful. They smell like dank
mildewy,
and rotten.
that's it. Yeah,
like they're really going off.
Yeah, and it's the same with soil. I mean, you go into a garden. If you dig certain soils, you can detect straight away if that soil's stagnant or unhealthy because it just smells. It smells horrible.
To me, it's the difference of getting in a fresh bath, beautiful fresh water, or getting in a bath where the water's been used several times and it's a bit discoloured. You never go near it. A plant wants healthy, fresh compost.
It does want healthy, fresh compost that's free of bugs and pests and diseases and all those kind of things. And this certainly is that compost, and it's that mixture. First of all, there's 2 different types of peat in here. There's light and dark peat, and the only difference between light and dark peat is the age. Light peat is younger than older peat, dark peat. So that's the only difference there. But this is a massively reduced peat compost, reduced by 50%, because like everyone else, we're moving towards helping the environment on this issue. But when you take something away that's really, really good, you need to add something in its place.
Yes.
So what we've done, so not to kind of reduce the efficacy of this compost, we've added composted wood fibre to this as well. And that, along with the peat, just creates this wonderful compost. Yeah, and it gives that compost this wonderful, open, airy texture. And that is so, so crucial for any plant for a number of reasons. First of all, although roots grow underground, they need air, they need oxygen.
Yeah, of course they do.
If you've got a compost or a soil that is so compressed, so compacted that no air or oxygen can get down into it, the roots can't breathe properly. So that's important for that reason. You also need a compost where the roots can penetrate down through the soil very easily, so they can become established. You think about little root tips under the ground, they're quite delicate, they're quite soft. They don't want to be coming up against stones and bits of grit and bits of wood and all that kind of stuff. They want a nice, easy start in life. This compost certainly does that for them. There's also slow-release fertiliser in here. So that basically is going to feed your plants over a long period of time. It's not like one of those fizzy drinks that gives you a huge burst of energy and then it's all over.
Yeah, and then you're like... And then you crash.
You crash, yeah.
You crash and burn.
So your plants aren't going to zoom away in this, look really good for a few weeks, and then they're just going to they're going to be sustained. Yeah. There's also a wetting agent in here.
It's a balanced, healthy diet for a long time.
Exactly, yeah. And you've got that wetting agent, and that's important as well, because sometimes you've had those composts, when you water them, when they've dried out, the water runs straight off, like water off a duck's back. That's because there's not enough wetting agent. What the wetting agent in our professional compost does is makes the compost super absorbent. It makes it like kitchen towel. It wants to suck in the moisture so you can rehydrate your plants very, very quickly. And finally, it's pH balanced, which means it's towards neutral. So that means a greater range of plants can survive in this compost.
Now, at this time of year, many of you will be making up new hanging baskets for the winter, doing your winter pots, but also, obviously, autumn is a brilliant time to, put new plants in your beds and borders, move things around, repot.
Great time for transplanting, Shaun, without a doubt.
And I always now, because I've got my my house is only 3 years old. It's a new garden, and the builder put different soil in different beds. Actually, I've learned that. Some are better than others. I've got some beds that are clay, and then some that are, really, really really wonderful soil, you know. But I've got a bit of an area that's quite sandy. But anyway, to cut a long story short, whenever I'm putting plants in my beds and borders, I always put a few handfuls of this compost in with them, just to give them that great start.
Yeah, because what it does then, you know, it kind of just really sort of conditions the soil that you're putting back around the roots of those plants, and it helps to hold on to the moisture. It creates a wonderful climate for the roots to be able to penetrate down and become established.
I've got a eucalyptus tree, Adam, I think you might remember it when you came around, and obviously the ground underneath that, I mean, God, that eucalyptus just takes everything. But I've dug in loads of this, and that whole area is doing a lot better, actually.
Yeah, it does make an incredible difference. In fact, I remember seeing in a previous life, I remember seeing a gentleman who showed me some pictures of some daffodils.
Yes.
Yeah, and I didn't think you could do anything to make daffodils grow better than what they do. I've always said you can grow daffodils on a washing line. But he actually grew some, adding our compost, and some without, and even the daffodils
the difference was huge.
were a lot bigger, a lot sturdier than the ones without the compost.
So it's really worth going for this. Get it today, because we've got free delivery, postage is included. You're going to get your free gift, don't forget. And a little tip, you know, it depends how much money you want to save, depends if you're as frugal as I am, but if you just buy the compost, but you did it in separate transactions, you get a free gift with every separate order. So that's just a little tip. And honestly, I would love you to try compost for the first time. Do become a club member as well. Loads of new club members joining us today. Just think about it, £5 a year on auto renewal, and you'll save £2.50 straight away on the compost, and you get £20 worth of vouchers and all of the benefits. Something else that has been really popular over the last 2 or 3 years actually, Strolch, and we have got this on the show today. This gets great reviews, you know.
I've got 4 bags of that in my greenhouse.
Have you really?
I have, yeah.
So what do you use it? What do you use it for then, Adam?
Protecting my hostas, because I've tried everything to keep the slugs and snails away from my hostas. But I mean, I could talk about Strolch for the rest of the show. I really could. I adore this product. So many fantastic uses for this. First of all, it does deter the slugs and snails. There's something about this that they don't like when they crawl over it. It kind of gives them a strange sensation, and they just crawl off somewhere else. And I like that as well. It doesn't kill them.
There it is.
It just deters them. It makes them want to go somewhere else. So there's still those slugs and snails around for the hedgehogs to eat, for the blackbirds to eat, but they're not eating your hostas, which is a great thing.
Because I mean, hostas they're beautiful, but if they've got holes in the leaves from slugs, they just look awful.
They just look tatty. They look tatty and sad. But many other benefits to this as well, Shaun. Now, in the winter time, for example, we were talking earlier on about herbaceous perennials, and we were talking about tulip bulbs, and sometimes if you live in areas with severe frost, the frost can get down into the ground, and some things don't have hardy root systems. So if the roots freeze, you lose the whole plant. Put a thick layer of Strolch over the bed in the autumn. It's like putting a duvet over your garden. It's going to protect the soil. It's going to protect those roots. It's going to stop the frost getting down into the ground. Also, it means during the winter time you can walk between your plants without ending up with a ton of mud stuck to the base of your boots.
That's a very good
which is really important. And also, when we get that really heavy rain, it's not going to splash all the soil over your plants, all over your patio and your paths. It's just going to help to absorb it. And then fast forward 6 months to say midsummer, helps to keep the weeds at bay, and it really, really does. Honestly, I can swear to that. It definitely keeps the weeds down. It'll hold the moisture in as well, because it stops the moisture being evaporated away. And then, over time, as it breaks down, it adds organic material to the soil as well. So it is a phenomenal product, made in the UK as well, which is brilliant.
So I'm thinking I should have this around my eucalyptus tree as well, shouldn't I?
Yeah, that would be superb. And
because it's a lot better there. It still dries out really quickly and things like that.
This keeps the moisture in, and it just
looks nice. Yeah, it does.
It looks lovely,
doesn't it?
And for example, I rescued a really old rhododendron back in the summer. But long story short, we had to start looking after this huge, great big house that had been repossessed, and there was lots of old plants and stuff left in the garden. There was this rhododendron that looked really, really tragic, but I rescued it and I fed it, and it's come back really well. But what rhododendrons like, they like to have nice moist roots, and they don't like heat around the roots. So I left about that much gap at the top of the pot, and I just put a nice layer of Strolch around the base of it, and it's loved it because it's kept those roots all nice and cool. It's stopped the rhododendron drying out, and it's really, really thriving.
I mean,
so many uses.
It's a really what I'd call a good egg. It's a brilliant all-rounder, that one. And again, you have got your postage included today.
And it's organic.
Yes.
Which is good. And made in the UK, again, which is a good success story.
And definitely, if you already use that, if you want to be part of the show, you can message us on Facebook. We're streaming live on Facebook, we're on YouTube, and also you can contact us, of course, on our social media as well, 100086. But that is a brilliant, brilliant product. It really is. We get so many great reviews for Strolsch.
Great on top of pots as well. If you've got lots and lots of pots and containers, and you want to keep the moisture in, you want to keep the weeds down, but you want something to look nice, it's brilliant. And you might,
I need to use it more, I've decided.
Yeah, and you might look at it and think it's going to blow away when you look at it, but once it's down and you get the first lot of rain, it kind of compacts and it all kind of knits into itself, and it almost forms like a fibrous kind of mat where it all marries into itself, so it doesn't blow away in the wind. It just creates that wonderful barrier that keeps moisture in, keeps cold out, and just deters those slugs and snails.
And I'm glad it doesn't kill the slugs, because as you said, they are important for the hedgehogs, the wildlife, but we just don't want the slugs eating our plants, do we?
No, we don't.
Definitely not your hostas.
They can go and eat the neighbour's plants instead.
Or your marigolds. I've planted marigolds before. They've literally disappeared overnight.
Yeah, I mean, literally, I call them slug and snail salad, really.
Yeah.
You might as well just sit there and watch them be eaten in front of your very eyes.
So true.
I hope we're not selling marigolds next year.
Well, I love marigolds. If you grow marigolds and you have problems with slugs, just put some squash around them.
It really does work.
Yeah, it does. But postage is included on that one, and it is a whole 9 kilogram bag, 100086. Now, tell you what else we have got on offer today. We have got the most stunning wisteria called Amethyst Falls, and I've always loved wisteria. I think everyone loves wisteria, but the thing is, Adam, first of all, you need a big house noddy for it to climb up. But also wisteria, am I right in saying they can take years to flower if they're new?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, I have a love-hate relationship with wisteria because I'm the one that has to get up on ladders.
Of course.
And I have to prune them. Yeah. And I've seen wisteria do terrible damage to people's health. I've seen wisteria where they get round downpipes and then the stems get wider and wider and they actually pull the downpipes away from the side of the wall. I've also, on a number of occasions, cut through people's telephone wires and internet cables and stuff because I didn't realise that the wisteria had gone all round the wires.
Do you know what?
So, the big ones...
Anyone that was thinking of booking Adam to do their garden, you're putting people off that. But anyway, don't worry, because this wisteria is nothing like that.
And that's exactly what I'm coming to as well, because you might be thinking, well, why on earth is he talking about wisteria then? He's not saying anything positive about them. Well, I'm giving you the negatives about the type of wisterias, like the sinensis type of wisterias. This is nothing like these wisterias. Well, it is in a lot of ways, but not in the bad ways. This has the wonderful foliage. Yeah, it has those incredible flowers, but this is a well-behaved wisteria, Amethyst Falls. Probably only getting to about 12 foot or so, and also it doesn't go mad. It doesn't send out those tendrils that can grow 6, 7, 8, 10, 15 foot in a matter of weeks. This will always be well-behaved. So even if you've just got like a 6x6 fence panel and you want a wisteria, this is the one to go for. You can grow this in a pot or a large tub because it doesn't have that huge root system.
Because a lot of gardens are smaller now, so to get this, a compact variety. And I'm right in saying, because this has got some buds in it now, quite often with Amethyst Falls, obviously you get most of the flowers in the spring, late spring, but you do get sometimes a second burst in autumn,
you do. And this is a plant that, plants like that are called remontant, which means they're repeat flowering. Remontant, means repeat flowering. So wisterias, May time is when you get the biggest amount of flowers. You'll get an absolute plethora of flowers on this, masses and masses of flowers, and fragrant flowers as well. Mustn't forget that. Really lovely sweet fragrance to them. The bees will go berserk for these as well, the pollinating insects. And then once that main flowering period is over, throughout the summer you'll get these little sporadic a little dry throat there. Little sporadic bursts of flower coming every so often. Was that Angela Nagani's garden?
Yeah, and Angela had a really kind of a beautiful compact garden. It wasn't big, but she made every space look divine. So, she just grew this up the trellis, and when it got to the top of the fence, it just waterfalled over. Didn't it?
And you can see that, and it's not one of those wisteria. You don't need a ladder for that one.
No.
I mean, you can just keep that nicely in shape, compact. I remember where I live in Swaffham as well. One of the roads out of Swaffham, there's a really, really old Edwardian house, and they've got one of these Amethyst Falls grown on some trellis. And again, it looks glorious. It looks fantastic. fantastic.
That is an amazing price, by the way.
And a good plant. I mean, look at that. Really, really solid plant there.
Yeah.
A nice stout stem to that. You can, I mean, I can't get it out the pot because, I can get it out the pot.
There you go.
Yeah. Good root system again there as well. It's some really thick pieces of root here. So you can see that lovely fibrous root system there. White roots as well, which is so important. So if you pull a plant out and the roots are all dark, that's a worrying sign. But look, really super healthy roots. So you know this is going to become established very, very quickly. Already on this little piece of trellis as well. So, and just look at the thickness of that lovely stem there. Really nice, sort of thick leader stem that's going to have all these wonderful shoots coming off next year.
And again, Adam, a great time to plant it. Or, you know, if you've got to grow it in a pot,
Shaun.
great time to put it in a bigger pot.
Yep.
But the price that we've got today is under £20, and actually with club discount, and a lot of you joining the club today, you get that for £18, and you'll get your free gift as well. Now we have got an ideal pot for this, and it is our tower pot that's just behind me. And Adam, I mean, I think this is one of the cleverest designed pots ever that we've seen, and we've sold thousands and thousands of these.
Yep.
And it is only $19.99, perfect for wisteria, perfect for all sorts of climates. I did sweet peas at mine this year, and they look fabulous. But
it looks great
just
as it is.
Yeah.
And it's got that burnished kind of look to it as well, so it looks antique.
It's
wonderful. Looks almost reclaimed. And of course, when you buy it, it's not like that. You can actually, it comes in 3 sections, so you don't need to put it all 3 sections together in one go. So you could start your wisteria off with section 1,
yeah,
and then as it grows up,
so it clips,
clips
all the way up there, and there's one up at the top
again
as well.
So you can just sort of chase the wisteria up as it grows, clip on another layer, and get the plant round it.
And your hands, you know, they can actually get through here. So, if climbers need a little bit of help and they need, you know, supporting wiring, poking through and things like that, you can actually do that. What I love is it gives you 360 degrees of colour. So if you did want to place this in the centre of a patio, you actually can do, can't you?
You can do, Shaun, and that's good for the plant as well, because the plant's getting light all the way round.
Of course.
And because, you know, this, I mean, for instance, you can squeeze that. If that was metal, that would dent. That would, you know, it wouldn't get back to shape. This is not going to rust. This is not going to corrode. This is going to last year after year after year after year. A lovely sized pot at the base there as well. So ideal for this as well. And like anything in a pot, remember, keep feeding it. Use our blooming fast liquid feed throughout the summer, spring, summer, to keep plants happy when they're in pots.
And there it is in the different sections.
Yeah, different sections there.
Postage wise, I just want to remind everybody, if you're buying that, the P&P you're paying for the planter and trellis is all you'll pay for the entire order. So you only pay your postage once. And you know, it does make sense to put together a big order, and you know, whatever postage you're paying, so that's $6.99, that covers everything else that you buy. And that looks amazing.
That's I think a petunia. That's a petunia stand there, which is just sort of remarkable, really.
Cool.
Yeah, all the way. I mean, you couldn't even see the support thing in the end. It's actually kind of completely disappeared. So yeah, I mean, absolutely hidden there by all those wonderful petunias. But it could be anything. It could be star jasmine. It could be clematis. It could be sweet peas. It could be morning glory.
It could be your amethyst falls.
Amethyst falls. I mean, so many different things. And you could put one thing one year. You could put another thing another year, because it's UV resistant, it's frost resistant, so it's not going to rust, it's not going to corrode. You're going to just keep this tower for year after year after year.
Well, we've only got, these shows go so quickly, we've only got about 25 minutes left. So Adam, we've got a few more extras to show. I'll let you get those ready.
Okie dokie.
But what I'd love to do, first of all, say good morning, hello. Let's remind you of some of the great items and plants that we had that we've had already, I should say, on this morning show. So the plant of the week, the plant of the month already sold out. We've now got the plant of the week, this gorgeous divine selection of pansy matrix. Mixed plants, big pansies, lovely smiley faces, really strong roots, and garden ready. You know, they can go straight in the garden right now. So winter bedding for your pots, your hanging baskets, your beds and borders. And as we keep saying, pansies are actually perennials. Yes, they'll die down a bit in the summer, but just chop them back, keep them well, you know, watered and fed, and they'll come back year after year if you wish them to. £14.98, £5 off, and postage is included on that one. Oh, I am definitely ordering these today. Now, these are our springtime doubles mix. I mean, have you ever seen such spectacular tulips. They remind me of peonies. And Adam grew these last year, and he was saying how strong the flowers are. And by that we mean, you know, some tulips, if there's a big downpour, they can get bashed very quickly. These, because of the structure, because they're doubles, they do tend to last so much longer as flowers. You know, Adam was saying his lasted up to 4 weeks per flower. Amazing colours, beautiful tulips, $11.99 with, of course, postage included. Don't forget, if you are ordering, I think everyone's done it today, you need to put the offer code in YGTV9 to get the best deals and to get your free gift as well. Now we are down to the last stock, don't forget, of our Echium Pride of Madeira. I've ordered these, and I've got a few of them, to be honest. $14.99 is all you're going to pay. Now, they are a spectacular Mediterranean plant. You'll often find these in the Canaries and Madeira, of course, hence the name. You get these huge spikes that can be 3 or 4 feet in terms of size. It does need a really sunny, well-drained spot, and it is hardly down to -5. Now, if you live somewhere that, you know, is fairly cold and exposed, probably better to grow it in a big pot and then keep it a little bit more protected over the winter in a greenhouse, a sheltered area. But honestly, at that price, if you want something spectacular next year in your garden, that is one of my top recommendations. 680023 with a £10 saving off the RRP there. Then also one of the top sellers on the show today, this has been a huge favourite, and it is the Rebecca Little Gold Star. Now, this is a perennial. It will come back year after year. It will die down in the winter, so don't worry, you know, it will disappear in the winter, but in springtime the little shoots will start coming back. It really is fantastic for covering larger areas. So, you know, within a year or so, this will really start to spread and to cover large areas, and that keeps the weeds down. And also, it just means, you know, I love my summer bedding, but you've got to buy it every year. This will come back year after year after year. Look at the flowers. They're bright, they're cheerful. If you were a bee, you'd love those flowers, because bees tend to love this kind of shaped flower where you've got that big centre. They can get straight in there, can't they?
Yeah, it's basically a landing pad for bees.
A landing pad, I like that, a landing pad for bees. Yeah, they can see that, they can land easily, and they can really get the fill on those. 561050. Amazing value. And then we moved on to our Allium collection. One of my favourite bulbs of all time. They're architecturally spectacular, those big balls, but you get lots of different varieties in here. You get 100 bulbs, all the top varieties of Alliums, and they're really great kind of late spring flower. But some of these, I might say, Adam, like the yellow ones, they're a bit more early, aren't they?
Yeah, and they're kind of shorter ones, those ones. So they're about sort of 5-6 inches tall, whereas the purple sensation, there's, I can never say this word.
You can say it better than me, Adam.
Yeah, anyway, those ones are more late flowering, and then we've got the Christophii ones. You've got those kind of almost like, these are the purple sensation. These are just phenomenal. These are up to metre tall sometimes, with almost like tennis ball sized flowers. And the Christophii, they're those ones with the stars, the little purple stars, that look like a firework exploding. And this is Nectaroscordum, this one, which looks very different, but I love the way these little dainty bells just sort of kind of hang down. It's just, you know, just incredible.
And it works out 15 pence per bulb on those. I mean, the value you get here.
And they're going to come up year after year after year.
And you don't end up with loads of straggly leaves. I mean, I love daffodils, but you end up with a lot of leaves after the flower.
You do. You've got to put up with them for like a good couple of months or so, haven't you?
And if you don't, you know, I mean, you can chop the leaves off, but it's not good for the bulb.
No, because they won't flower again the following year.
No, you need them to die down.
But these look as good dead as they do alive.
They do.
And what I mean is, once the flowers die off, the structure of the finished flower is as gorgeous as the flower when it's actually in full colour. So there you go.
Dead or alive, they're still a winner.
Yeah.
63012.
We're going back now, aren't we?
We are. Right, let's bring in our next fantastic plant for you, which I call the bottle brush, but it's a callistemum.
It's a callistemum. You can see why it's called a bottle brush. It's got that bottle brush shaped flower.
And you also, you know, when you look at this, you imagine that to be spiky, but it is so soft, isn't it?
It's super soft.
It's lovely to feel.
Yeah, I mean, these originate from Australia, New Zealand, that kind of part of the world, but they do very, very well in the UK.
Why is this in flower now?
Well, I mean, these, again, they sort of plants that will flower mainly in the springtime, but sometimes they will have a little second flush of flowers a little later in the season.
And this is from our nursery, so yours may arrive with flowers on.
Yeah, and I've just picked you a leaf off there, Shaun. Now, just tear that leaf in half and just...
That's really lemony.
Yeah, really lemony. In fact, the younger the leaf,
that's really zesty.
Really sort of fragrant foliage there, really citrusy kind of foliage.
And that hence the name then?
Yeah. And when I've actually pruned these, because you can prune these, you get the most wonderful fragrance when you prune them. You've got those kind of oils in there that release that wonderful, wonderful fragrance. Evergreen, so you've got this colour all the year through, which is really, really good. And these are great for those really hot, sunny positions. They do very, very well in dry soils, poor soils, sandy soils, gravelly soils. If you're in a really, really cold area, you can grow them in pots and just put them somewhere sheltered during the winter time. And year on year, these will gradually get bigger and bigger, making taller shrubs. And they have a kind of a really cute little habit, actually, because when they finished flowering...
fascinating. Sorry, go on,
Yeah, when they finished flowering, you get these little seed heads that stay on the plant almost forever. And then the next year you get another cluster of flowers that lead to more seed heads. So if you count down, you can almost work out how old the plant is. Or how long it's been flowering for. So magnificent plants, evergreen, statuesque, colourful, unusual, easy to grow, not demanding. The main things they just will say to you is, put me somewhere super sunny, super well drained, sheltered, and if it's going to be really, really cold, just grow me somewhere where in the winter time you can give me a little bit of protection.
And they are fine in pots.
They are fine in pots. But for something so different and so unusual, it's worth the extra effort. And the bees, the pollinating insects, they will be in and out of these flowers all day long. They will love you.
I just find it's a really fascinating plant. I've got a few of these. I really love them.
I adore them as well. We've put lots of these in customers' gardens over the years when we've done planting schemes. I've grown loads in my garden, and we've got this wonderful colour for you. But they come in white, they come in oranges, they come in reds, pinks. There's a whole range of colours these come in. But a really, really sort of popular plant.
And only $14.99. Now again, if you're buying this, the postage $6.99 will cover your entire order. So you'll only pay whatever the highest postage is in your order. You'll only pay that. So do bear that in mind. It really makes sense to put together a big order, check out in one go, and you will get, say charged just 1p. Now we've got a brand new pansy selection for you next. We've saved this towards the end of the show. And it's called Tango Magic. Are you any good at the tango?
Oh, I can't dance for toffees. I've got 3 left feet, not 2. I'm hopeless.
I look like I drink lots of tango, don't I? But this is the Pansy Tango Magic. I just thought
they've definitely been tangoed.
They have been tangoed. And I know in the winter months when it's dull, dreary. You sometimes get those. I mean, winter can be lovely when you get a sunny, crisp day, but you often get many grey days where you see no sunshine.
Yeah.
And it's that kind of like misty, horrible, dull.
Don't, Shaun, don't.
Yeah, it's coming, it's coming. But you know what? Even on those dull, miserable days, your Pansy Tango is going to bring some magic to your garden. I mean, these are gorgeously vibrant, aren't they?
They are gorgeously vibrant.
Aren't they?
And also they're fragranced as well, which is fantastic. They're on really stout, strong stems, low stems as well, so they're going to hunker down, keep out the way of the wind, so they're not going to get damaged. And what I particularly like about these is because they're this very, very strong, defined colour, it gives you the opportunity to do something a little bit magic with these. So if you're going to put them in a pot or a trough or somewhere, for example, you could perhaps grow these with a black snake grass in between. So you've got that black foliage of the black snake grass, then the vibrant orange of the pansies, and then you could perhaps mulch the top of the pot with some white gravel, and suddenly, just using 3 different colours, you've created something really spectacular, really kind of that's going to jump out at you, that's going to look like,
I was thinking though, even with the allium bulbs that we've got as well, so the purple ones look, it's up to you.
Because these are going to keep flowering for you from September right the way through to March, so you're going to get months and months, half a year of colour off these. Deadhead them, feed them, as I say, with our blooming fast feed as well, and then don't treat them as bedding plants. Don't throw them away when they stop flowering. Just take off the old foliage down to about ½ an inch or so, keep them somewhere cool for the rest of the summer and moist, and then towards the autumn start to spoil them again, and they'll do it all over again.
And so I just need to the quality of YouGarden plants, because we say garden ready. These are really ready for a home. Look at the root system here. I mean, so many of those white fibrous roots there, Adam.
Yeah, and that is crucial, Shaun. That fibrous root system, that's the start of a plant. You know, when you've got a root system like that, that shows you that plant is super healthy.
And they're all the same.
And the reason being is because they've been grown in a professional compost. So, you know, this is a
they've been given the best start.
Yeah, and it's what we said earlier. You know, to get the best out of a product, you need to put the best into a product. So you give your plant the best start with the best compost. We bring you the best plants, like these pansies. I mean, look how compact those are. Look at the, you know, right into the centre of the plant there. You can see all those little shoots in the middle. This plant, it wants to grow, it wants to expand, it wants to spread, it wants to keep sending out flowers. Super, super shiny, lustrous green foliage with these deep, deep orange flowers on top.
I love those.
This is a real statement, a real spectacular pansy.
And sometimes, you know, I change my sort of like, you know, what I do pots wise and hanging basket wise. I do mix it up a bit, and I look after, me and my other half have got a pub, so I do the pub garden, and sometimes block colour can look really good, can't it?
Block colour can be really, really effective.
You might just do all of your pots in these colours,
or just two colours if you wanted to. In fact, even I think, and I was saying earlier on, you know, don't ever be dictated to by colour schemes if you don't want to be. Honestly, you don't need to go there. You're not doing wrong if you're mixing colours. Because you know, I do go to people's gardens sometimes, and they've got all these mixed colours, and they say to me, "Oh, I know you're going to tell me this is wrong, Adam, because I've not kind of, you know, made it all sequenced and colour coordinated." I say, "It's not wrong. It's your garden. It's your space."
Absolutely.
And bearing that in mind, I'm just thinking. Imagine if you put these in a pot, and then you planted those wonderful large crocuses that we've got in between.
That would look good.
That would look good,
yeah,
wouldn't it?
that definitely would look good.
Yeah, so you've got all those lovely purples and yellows and whites coming up in between these oranges. Oh, wow, that would be a real joy on a spring day, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I really like those. I really like those. And they're big flowers, aren't they?
Yeah, they are big flowers. Slightly fragranced as well, which is good. Yeah, yeah, and sort of months and months, about half a year's worth of flower from these plants. So yeah, they're going to keep going. Just keep deadheading them. So when a flower's finished, just pick that dead flower off, and that will just encourage more flowers to keep appearing.
And don't forget, I'm going to say it one final time, if you're ordering right now, you do need to put, because I'm getting lots of new viewers, you always need to put the code in on the TV shows. YGTV9 is the code today. If there's any extra promotions going on, it will kick those in, but also you will get your free gift, which is the Blooming Fast. And please don't look at this and think, oh, it's just you know, it's something that I'm not going to use. Oh my word, it's the best fertilizer that we've ever used. It's $4.99 normally, and that will make a whopping 100 litres. It still amazes me. You can go to the garden centres and the supermarkets. They'll sell you a ready-made mixed plant food
for $4.99, $5.99,
and it's a litre,
and it's gone in one or two goes, and it's gone. There's a houseplant feed one like that, and I think that's insane. That wouldn't. I've got 45 houseplants. It wouldn't feed all of me with one canister.
No, I mean it's just ridiculous. And also those ready-made feeds, they're
bad for the environment. I think all the plastic bottles that get thrown away,
and they all have to be
recycled
transported all the way across the UK or whatever from distribution centres. And it's all. I'm not saying it's all water, but it's
probably 95% water.
So this you just mix with your own water. That is it. A little spoonful.
Straight from your water butt.
Yeah. So that is a really great way of getting your plant food today. $4.99 is it's worth. You get it free as long as you put in that code YGTV9.
And you've got everything in that, Shaun, as well. You've got the trace elements as well as the main elements. So you've got your nitrogen, your phosphorus, your potassium, but you've got things like boron, manganese, molybdenum, all those sort of things. Yeah. When you take multivitamins, if you look on the back, you'll see those same ingredients. Plants and us, we need the same ingredient. We eat plants, so we need the same ingredients. And although these nutrients are in microscopic quantities, they are absolutely critical to the health of plants.
And so a lot of people say, when they look at my garden, how come that's grown so well? It's because of this, Blooming Fast. And there you are. It's really high in the NPK as well. It's 18-24, isn't it?
Yeah, which is good. A really, really good sort of mix there. And the NPK will look after your plant from roots to shoots, from fruit to vegetables. And I'm not going to name him, but there was a famous, very, very famous gardener, TV gardener, who some years back said, you don't need to feed plants. It's unnecessary. It's pointless to feed plants. Honestly, I've never heard so much dinkum in all my life. I mean, feeding plants makes such a huge difference.
It really does.
You get. I mean, where I live in Norfolk, we've got very sandy soil, very gravelly soil, which is good for drainage. But what it means is all the nutrients drain through very quickly. So I find quite often a plant will look good for a little while, and then it starts to go a bit yellow. It starts to go a bit off colour, and I know straight away. Liquid feed. Liquid feed that, and it's like a shot in the arm for that plant. It will absorb it through the foliage, through the roots, and within 24, 48 hours, you can actually see that plant greening up again, becoming healthy again.
So I love the fact you get this free today. Hey, and now I'll tell you what we need to squeeze in, because we've got an absolute beauty of it. There you go, there you go. That is the oleander that we have got on today's show. And, you know, this is the first time Adam's worked in our new studio, and so we're in the middle of YouGarden Nursery. And when you saw this morning, you should have seen his little face.
Look at it. It's almost as tall as me. That's not a huge achievement by any means. But yeah, I mean, you've got this.
You're about the same as me. We're
about 5'9", 5'10".
Yeah, that's right about average.
5'10" on a good day, if there's a low pressure system.
Do you know what? On my social media feed, I keep getting these adverts for shoe things to lift your height. What are they saying to me?
I keep getting things for chairlifts and Saga holidays and all that sort of thing.
I keep getting hair dye and lifters for my feet. Seriously.
But yeah, I mean, look at this. This is spectacular.
Yes, it is.
I mean,
this needs no lifting.
No, and it's a standard, isn't it? Yeah. Really, it's shown in effect, because it's called a standard because we've got this stem here where the branches come off from. And look at that. I mean, magnificent there.
Oh.
Evergreen, Mediterranean in a pot, to be honest.
Do you know what? If you can afford 2 of these today, go for 2. You know, a pair at either side of your patio doors. And we can show what that looks like. Now, Adam, why? Because I do go to the garden centres. I'll be honest, I normally go there for the cafes. I like, sit there and have a cake and a cup of coffee. But you very rarely see oleanders in garden centres, do you?
Well, there has been a difficulty getting oleanders in recent years from abroad. So most of the oleanders we have now have to be homegrown. So it's taken a little while to sort of get them back online, as it were. But this, I mean, the plant we've got here is so super healthy. You've got this wonderful willow-like shaped foliage, which is glossy and shiny.
And they are evergreen, aren't they?
They are evergreen as well, so they look good in the winter as well as the summer. My mum has had one of these oleanders growing outside her back door for about 10 years or so. It's never been protected.
Really?
It's literally sort of in a corner of 2 walls, so and it's quite a sunny position, so it's been protected. Yeah. But every year, even this year, it's flowered.
And it flowers all summer long, doesn't it?
All summer long. And I've seen these in different people's gardens year after year now, because we're getting the milder winters generally. These are becoming more and more prominent, more and more popular.
And they are harder. We always say to about -5.
Yeah, about -5. And the bigger the plant gets, the hardier it gets. And sometimes at the end of the winter, and again, I'm always honest with people here as well, because there's no point, saying things as they're not. Sometimes you might find at the end of the winter, this plant does look a bit sad. You might find the top part of it's gone a bit brown. Some of the leaves look a little bit damaged. But that plant isn't dying. It's just had the winter blues. It's all you need to do.
I always look terrible by midwinter. I look shocking.
I'm probably a stone heavier by then.
Yeah,
as well,
I'm not working. My face is grey. I'm miserable. So it's normal.
But once the sun comes back and the days start to lengthen, all you've got to do is just trim your oleander back to some healthy leaves. It will start to reshoot, and next year it will flower for you all over again.
I mean, my friend Matt, he loves his garden, and he's had an oleander for years, and he lives in Milton Keynes area, and his oleander, I'll be honest, it looked terrible at the end of this winter, because it was outside, it was exposed, and his garden went down to about -8, but it's all come back.
Yeah, all come back. And it's really a few times I've been to Tuscany 2 or 3 times, and there's this fabulous place there called San Gimignano, which is an old ancient city, and around that city there's huge areas of oleanders flowering. And I was walking through the town, and they had a shop with postcards, and one of them was San Gim in the middle of the winter, completely covered in snow, white everywhere, and I thought, oh my goodness me. They've survived. So they are hardier than you think sometimes.
Now we're doing, because obviously it's towards the end of the season now. We're doing a massive saving on this today. We want you to get it. They're normally £40. Grab them today on YouGarden TV, and they're only $24.99. Club members, you get $2.50 off that, so even better. And Don't forget the postage, £6.99. That's one of the biggest items in the show, and it will be very, very carefully delivered to you. But that postage will cover your entire order. So if you're buying lots of things, including the oleanders, you'll only pay £6.99. But they are amazing, and you know, you very rarely see a standard oleander in the UK.
You don't.
You know, you don't.
And if you can't get to the Mediterranean, bring the Mediterranean to you, because you know, it does give you that Mediterranean feel.
It's a wow, isn't it?
It's a whopper.
In our potting shed, you're like, you know, it's amazing.
And that is how they're arriving, Shaun, isn't it? They're coming to people in flower
that's what
like
you're
that. So you've got that.
In fact, I've seen them on the nursery with Peter. We did a little clip of film last week, and there were hundreds of them, and they all look like that in flower.
And when you get them, put it in the sunniest, most sheltered spot. South-facing is brilliant, but really, really super sunny, bright spot is what it's going to love. And there's loads more buds on there, so they're going to keep going for probably another sort of 3 or 4 weeks. Yeah. And then in the winter, you've got the lovely foliage to get you through, and then next spring, it'll come back and it'll flower all over again.
Cool. Now, we are nearly out of time. Don't forget, we are back live this afternoon, 2 till 4. And you might be streaming us on one device right now. If you've got a TV and it's got YouTube on it, you can just tap in YouGarden on YouTube. A great way to watch us. You can watch us on your big telly and do your ordering on your tablets or your phones or your computers, wherever. We also need to go back to these gorgeous urns. When I say gorgeous, they're decadent. I think they look quite opulent, don't they? You know, they look
almost Romanesque, really.
Yeah,
kind of got that look to them.
But on a practical level, and we've got again a big saving. These are half price on the TV show today. But on a practical level, because of the depth of these, you can grow so many different plants, can't you?
Yeah, and that's important.
Quite big plants.
Yeah, because sometimes, you know, with planters, if they're too small, if they're not deep enough, and you've got them in a hot, sunny position, they dry out really, really quick. And conversely, in the wintertime, they can freeze solid really, really quick. With these, you've got that great volume of soil or compost in there. Great for all those roots to really get down. And also, a taller plant can really establish itself in that pot. It's not going to blow out the pot and fall over. But of course, you could go out and buy something like this in real stone. Might weigh 20, 30 kilograms. If it freezes solid this winter time, it might crack, it might split. You might find next spring when you go to pick it up, the rim of the pot comes away from the rest of the pot. They get covered in algae. All those sorts of problems. With this, UV resistant, frost resistant, lightweight, looks amazing. And Shaun and I were saying we were plastic plant snobs, plastic pot snobs until a few years ago, but now they're produced so brilliantly.
They are.
They, from a distance, you cannot tell the difference.
You were so right when they used to have that awful seam down.
That's it.
And you look at it and go, oh, that's plastic. You don't know now. They're so well made and designed. You know, technology has come on so much, and they look like real stone urns, but they're a fraction of the price, but also they're a lot easier to actually handle. They're lightweight, they're UV resistant, they're not going to crack, they should last you years, if not decades. And actually, we haven't got anything trailing in those, but because of the height, you know, in the winter, some trailing ivies down there.
Oh, definitely.
Amazing, wouldn't they?
Look, and then in the summer, you could have trailing petunias, lobelia, something like that, for example. And we did pick one up earlier on, and one had a price on the bottom of $29.99.
So obviously, you know, it's somewhere that this has been sold for $29.99 each, but here on YouGarden, $24.99, and that is 130147. Now, one of the stars of the show has been the Rebecca, the little gold star. So many of you gone for these.
I think we need to rename this Big Gold Star.
Yes.
So it's not been a little star today, it's been massive.
You've definitely given it a big gold star. And I think, Adam, first of all, the value, you know, you're getting 3 of these.
Yeah.
Delivery, postage included, $14.97. Now, I've never grown these. I'm going to buy these. This is going to be my next order, but you've got them from YouGarden.
These are so easy to grow. And if you whip that one out the pot, Shaun, as well, look at the root system on that. I mean, that is phenomenal. That shows you what an incredibly healthy plant this is. Absolute brilliant root system there as well. So as soon as this plant gets into the ground, it's going to start to root. So just quickly run you through this. These Rebeccias are what's called a hardy herbaceous perennial plant, which means they come up in the spring. They grow through early part of the summer, they flower from midsummer right the way into autumn, late autumn. They die down in the winter to ground level, and then they come back again next spring. They love a nice open sunny position. That's where they really, really thrive. They like reasonably damp, moist soils as well, and they spread. I mean, I bought some from YouGarden, I think it was about 2 years ago, 6 plants. Actually, I'll tell a fib, I didn't actually buy them. I was doing a show, and I was allowed to take some freebies home, some samples.
Oh.
Because
I've never done that in my life, Adam.
Yeah, I did.
Never taken any freebies back.
I'll pop them in the garden, and I must bring if we're going to bring you Rebecca's again, I must take a picture and bring it in, because I put 6 in this one area, and they've now covered an area of about 1.5 by 1.5 metres. They're about 40 to 50 centimetres high, and they're just smothered like these in these wonderful, gorgeous yellow flowers. Hundreds and hundreds of flowers. The bees absolutely adore them. They land on these black landing pads, and it's such an easy plant to grow. They don't need staking. They don't need supporting. They support themselves.
Oh, that's good, because stakes can look messy, can't
yeah,
they?
they can. All you've got to do is plant them, leave them, enjoy them, and then I would say probably late December, January time, when they've all gone brown and discoloured, take them down to ground level, wait till next spring, and they'll come back and give you that wonderful display all over again.
I'm definitely going for this, because I've still got lots of gaps in my garden. It's a fairly new garden, it's only 3 years old, and where there's gaps you always get weeds, so I love the idea of having that carpet colour. And you're saying late flowering as well.
Yeah,
so, there's other things my lupins have had it now.
The delphiniums have gone over now.
Yeah, my hollyhocks, to be honest, there's only a few flowers at the top.
Yeah.
So these are brilliant for this later part of the summer. We are nearly out of time. We are back live at 2 o'clock with these 2 items that we've been asked to show you just before we have our lunch out in the nursery. Because it's a lovely day out there. But the Alliums, you've loved these. 100 Alliums, lots of different varieties. I'm going to get you to pronounce them one final time.
I will. It's Sphelocephalon.
Yeah.
I do struggle with that.
I like the purple sensation. That's the easy one.
Yeah, that's easy for you to say. But my favourite is the Christophii, which is this one here.
That's a big ball one, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like a sort of a firework exploding.
That one's amazing.
That's absolutely stunning, that one. But you've got Molly in there as well, which is a nice little kind of short yellowy flowered one. So many. There's the what was the one we liked? Oh yeah, the Nectaroscordum. That one we liked because it had those lovely bell-shaped flowers on there. That's the Sphelocephalon. Spherocephalon.
I think you've done really well to pronounce any of those. But they are.
Purple sensation.
Yeah, I like that one. That's what I can pronounce. 15 pence a bulb. I mean, jokes apart, they are spectacular.
I can grow them. I can't pronounce them.
Well, actually, everyone can grow them because they're really easy.
Nectaroscordum. That's the one. That's my favourite. I mean, look at that. Look at the colours in those little bell-shaped flowers there. Look, almost looks like a Tiffany kind of Art Deco lamp or something hanging down.
It does. So £5 off, postage is included. Very quickly, sorry Adam, we are nearly out of time. We have got to leave you the details of these. Aren't they amazing? Well done at home if you've gone for these. These are a pair of pre-planted pansy cool wave. The cool wave plug plants, the plants of the month, there's a lot of peas in that, have sold out, but you can still get the pre-planted baskets. They are amazing. This is what you're going to get. We've just taken these from outside in the nursery, and they've been so well grown. The colours are amazing, but Cool Wave as a pansy is incredible, isn't it?
It is incredible, Shaun, because you're going to get hundreds and hundreds of flowers. You're going to get flowers that are going to cascade. You've got some flowers there that they actually are. They are slightly fragrant as well. You can actually eat these as well, so they're great for decorating desserts and things like that. Or you can even just put a little bowl on the table with some water in and just let the pansy heads float in top of the bowl, and they make a lovely table decoration. But what they are going to give you is just months and months and months of colour in the garden, almost doing nothing to them at all, apart from feeding them occasionally. If you've got a few minutes to spare, you might want to deadhead them, but they'll still flower if you do or you don't. But for me, it's just that amazing range of colours. It almost seems that every flower is unique in the colour mix there.
Well, we're out of time. I'm going to say one final time. Join the club. You'll get 10% discount on all the plants, the compost, and loads of the benefits, and £20 worth of vouchers. It's only £5 a year. Pop it in your basket. You get all the discounts immediately. And you do need to put in the code YGTV9. Please do that, because you'll get any promotions that are running for the TV show will just kick in. But you'll also get your free gift worth £4.99. Adam, I thoroughly enjoyed that. I hope you lovely viewers enjoyed it as much as we did. We're going to have a little stroll out in the nursery, but we'll be back live this afternoon with YouGarden TV at 2 o'clock. So we will see you then. Take care.